I'm sorry.
I can't get mine. I bit my nails off again.
Ooh. This is,
Wow.
that sounded painful.
Oh, dude,
right?
I chewed my fingers back down to shit again.
I'm going to start putting poison on your fingers.
Dude, I tried it. You have to forcibly do it. I have those.
You know what you need to do? What? Take each finger, stick it in your butt, and then just sit there with your hands out.
Good.
You're not going to bite your nails after that,
that won't affect anything else in my life. Welcome to We Need Wrestling. Oh yeah. God damn it. So there's already a doo-doo fingers in wrestling world. We don't acknowledge him. But I have like the bitter nail polish, but I'm just I'm just not gonna fucking put it on if it tastes bad. Like I'll put it on once and then I'm like, well, it tastes bad. I'm not gonna do it again.
What the fuck?
Lack of willpower. I'm DJ. That's Brett.
How dare you?
This is We Need Wrestling.
Dude, this is really good.
Yeah, what flavor? What?
Popsicle Hawaiian pineapple.
Oh, because you had what one did you have last week? That was the popsicle one.
Great. That was not very good. I opened it on Saturday. I didn't finish it till Monday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, this is not very good.
I think I burned through that whole big case of Monsters.
That's scary
because they're juice. And they're delicious. And
don't do that.
I have no willpower.
What the fuck's going on? This is kind of like pineapple coconut.
Yeah. See, because I have these ghosts in here, these orange creams, which I like.
They're great too.
But they're not like the juice ones I can just casually drink.
You could slam those.
These I can't slam.
No, they're too sweet.
Like they're good, but they're a little too sweet. But so.
Yeah. Well.
All right, welcome to We Need Wrestling. I'm DJ. That's Brett. How are you, pal?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, good.
I really am.
Good.
Things are fucking cool, man.
No major events from a week ago?
No, I got my car back yesterday.
Nice. It's episode 261, by the way. I don't know why. We never say that, but I'm just impressed that we got to 260 plus episodes.
Wow, so we're almost at 275.
Almost.
Which means we're almost at 300.
Yep. We're going to do a big extravaganza. Everybody start gearing up for episode 300. I
had a friend who was like always tried to act like he was so old because he was older than us like 10, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm. His name was Doug.
No.
Oh.
He's like, man, just turned 29. Fuck, I'm almost 40. And we're like, you have so much time in between that.
So much time, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Oh, Justin Facelift.
Oh.
Yeah, man. How are you? How are you?
I'm
buddy?
good.
Good.
I'm back at full health as I feel a cough coming up my throat. It's
Is that what you feel in your throat?
I swallowed it. We're good.
I bet you did.
I did. Let's practice. But no, I'm good. I'm back to no throat soreness. No
throat coat.
I'm good. I got some ginger tea. Some medicine. I learned this week that taking ibuprofen and Tylenol together is really strong and a very good painkiller, which is nice.
Okay.
That helped with the throat discomfort.
You're taking painkillers for your throat.
Yeah, my throat was real. I take just ibuprofen and Tylenol, just over the counter. But you can no worries. You can combo those, and it works a little stronger together.
Perfect.
So that was nice. But my throat I was in rough shape with my throat. Now Michelle's real sick, and she blames me for it.
She's not wrong.
She's not real sick, but she's sick, and she's on antibiotics, but she blames me for it. But it's not. You and I were together all last weekend when I had a scratchy throat, and you're good, so.
I'm perfectly fine. I have no issues.
Right, and we're constantly swapping DNA, so.
I have to sneeze.
Hold on, I'll mute your microphone. Yeah. Got it.
Just one.
Just one. Wow, all right. That's impressive.
Normally it's 3, just one this time.
But no, we're good, man. It's an uneventful week. We've been working, we've been watching wrestling, we've been hanging out. Last week was it Saturday went to that comic shop?
It was.
That feels like forever ago.
Doesn't it?
We road tripped out to Allentown where they're tearing all the factories down.
That's the fucking second. I went to 2 comic shops this week.
You did? Yeah. Yep. And that's the second week in a row we were down in Allentown also. No, it's not second week. It wasn't?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was because Free Comic Book Day was the week before.
Yep.
But anyway, this isn't a comic book show, although you did get a wrestling comic, so that does kind of
I did get a wrestling comic.
Did you look through it yet?
No, I didn't.
You son of a bitch.
Dude, all right.
Yeah,
listen,
right. Wasting your time.
Every fucking night I'm like, okay, because I have that was it 3/4 of a short box full.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, I gotta go in. I gotta put these in this fucking app that you showed me because I want to keep track of everything. And then I just end up doing something different.
I rebagged and board all my shit. I taped everything down.
Since you're wild,
I'm gonna put them in order. I was, threw out a bunch of the old shitty bags and boards that they were in.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do that. Fuck.
Yeah, especially when you start handling them and you feel all the grime on your fingers.
God damn it. Well, I did just order bags and boards.
There you go. Nerd.
Shut up,
Nerd. Who reads comics?
Stop it.
So,
what's happening?
You should rewatch Mallrats, and you'll understand Banky a little bit more.
Banky?
Yeah, no, what the hell, Brody?
Am I Brody?
Yeah. Well, he was the comic book.
Yeah.
Banky drew the comics and Chasing Amy, but he was the tracer.
Now I want to watch Mallrats.
Yeah.
Fuck. Comics rule.
Comics are fun. So's wrestling, and that's what we're here to talk about.
Are we?
We are. This isn't We Need Comics.
No, there's a I don't want to ladle anyone's warmth.
Nope. Okay. There's already a show on the network that does that, and they do it very well.
Yes.
Though not that there wasn't a wrestling show on the network before we started, but
true.
We're not going to steal gimmicks twice, or are we?
Twice?
Once, twice, 3 times?
Twice.
No. No.
Twice.
No. We don't talk about Nazis on the show.
Sorry.
But yeah,
hey,
so
fucking Nazi.
So I guess that's it. Good night, everybody. No, let's
all right.
Let's get in any news worthy to print. DDT is working on the relationship with WWE because they have a new CEO.
CEO
Shinseri Takagi is no longer
CEO.
So is he? Because I didn't know he had because he also wrestles in DDT and is the booker in DDT too. I think.
Yeah, I believe
right?
so. Yeah.
So I guess his plate's full enough.
Yeah.
And what the hell else happened? There was something else I mentioned before we started recording.
Was it the cyber fight stuff?
No, that was kind of what we just said.
The AEW Summer Series?
Nah, I don't need to talk about that. I didn't even see that announced anywhere, really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I saw people talking about it, but I don't know any of the shit. Dinner, meals, and a match?
That premieres tomorrow at 2 o'clock on Twitter.
Oh, 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow, okay. I wonder what match they're watching.
I don't know. I guess it's just an AEW match.
Yeah, it's just going to be AEW matches.
I wish it was like a little more like fast and loose.
Yeah, how would they get the rights? You know what I mean?
Say, hey, turn to fucking whatever. Here's the video. Yeah. Here's the link. And hit play. 3, 2, 1, go. It's a podcast. Do it. Why not?
But that's going to be on TBS's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But all right. Let me Pro Wrestling News hitting the Google machine. Let's see. All right. There's the cyber fight. That's all over the place. That's like the top 19 stories. I'm sure. AEW launched a new mobile game, Figure Fighters. I downloaded it. I played it for about 10 minutes before I got fucking bored.
Yeah.
But I did get Butcher, and so I was very happy to get Butcher, and then I played with Butcher for a little bit. But it's literally you just sit there and wait for your special move meter to gear up, and then you just tap it, and then you tap it again, and then when you hit the guy's health enough, you can hit your finish.
Yeah,
it's boring. So
I think Mike said he was in the beta for it back in March, and I think he's like, I played it like you. I played it for maybe a half hour. I was like, yeah, this sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty boring. Cultaholic reports that WWE and AEW are interested in Katsuhiko Nakajima.
I don't know where he goes.
Yep. So
I've thought about it quite a bit, and I just don't know where he fits.
He last wrestled on March 3rd. He hasn't had a match since he dropped the Triple Crown.
Yeah, because they said he walked out.
Yeah.
All Japan, but who knows what the fuck's real and what's not.
He's 30. He's 36 years old.
Oh, I was watching Jeopardy the other day.
Yeah?
Jeopardy Masters is happening right now. And Ken Jennings dropped kayfabe on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird. What a nerd.
Fucking weird.
What a nerd.
Because that James Holzhauer's on, and James is a big wrestling fan. He calls himself the final boss of Jeopardy.
Okay.
And they were talking about something where they razz each other, and Ken's like, let's not break kayfabe.
Yeah.
That's like, what the fuck?
Bizarre. Michelle gets really mad whenever we're watching something and wrestling gets brought up. in movies or TV shows, and I'm like, it's everywhere. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just because it's the sport of kings.
9 hours ago from the Sportster, do a Powerbomb. What to know about wrestling's best comic book? And I will tell you
what's happening with it.
I don't. It's just an article about it. I don't know.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah,
it's just doing more.
It's just it's just a must. It's just an article about how great it is.
Oh,
and it is great.
It is great.
You
that was
should read
such
it.
a fun read.
Yeah. And then there's a link on YouTube to watch artist Daniel Warren Johnson draw Rogan Gambit. So, there you go.
Send me that.
He's a good dude. I like that guy a lot. So the funny thing about Daniel Warren Johnson, who's great, who I would love to get on the show, maybe I should try and make that happen.
Should.
He's a newer wrestling fan. He didn't get into it until adulthood, and he's like infatuated, and he does a lot of really great wrestling art. His art is fucking fantastic.
It's amazing.
He's a dude who, like, I will pick up whatever he's drawing all the time.
I remember when he was drawing like all the New Japan stuff. Mm-hmm. That was fucking incredible.
Yeah. I have a bunch of stuff from back. I haven't read some of his earliest stuff, but like, I don't know if Murder Falcon was the first thing that I caught up on him, like noticed him on, but he's fucking great. So that's
he's awesome.
He rules. Let's see. Oh, there's the summer series in Texas. I guess we can talk about that here. Dallas News.
Yeah, what's it, like 8 shows they're running in one location?
The series will feature a month's worth of events from July into August ahead of AEW All In at Wembley Stadium. There's been a cultural renaissance in professional wrestling, with interest spiking around the world, and the city of Arlington wanted to get involved and join the forefront of the industry's innovation. This is written by Joey Hayden for the Dallas News, DallasNews.com.
It's interesting because I know that everybody's teased like WWE doing a residency in Vegas.
Yeah.
And you do wonder, like, this is kind of like a ground project to try this.
It's an interesting evolution of the sport, the way they do the shows. So it says here, the Summer Series partners with the city to present AEW Path to All In Summer Series at Esports Stadium, Arlington, starting July 20th. The Summer Series events, a residency of sorts, will feature a month's worth of shows from July into August, as the city plays host to the final weeks of the build-up to one of All Elite Wrestling's biggest show of the year, AEW All In at Wembley Stadium in London, England.
They're doing Death Before Dishonor from there, too.
So it says Esports Stadium, Arlington, will be the home of All Elite's weekly television program Collision. Mm-hmm. The arena will also be hosting Ring of Honor events, including Death Before Dishonor on Friday, July 26th. I mean, that's pretty cool. And AEW stars Claudio Castagnoli and Kip Sabian will participate in the Celebrity Warhammer event at Esports Stadium on Thursday night to announce the deal.
Nerds.
It is interesting. So, All Elite Wrestling Stay in Arlington comes at a busy time. The Texas Rangers will be hosting the All-Star Game. And the AT&T Stadium will see the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul event on July 20th. They're all going to be down there.
So hopefully it burns to the ground.
Ooh. I mean, it's interesting, right? It's a 2,500 seat facility, which is much smaller than they're running in.
A lot more intimate.
But if you get the right people in there, if you're trusting Arlington to be the hot city, which clearly you're trusting it to be, right? We've said this on the show for a while. We're not the only people to say it, but like, go to smaller venues that are, especially in places where you're not as hot. Like we'll get to Dynamite, but like that was a pretty hot crowd.
It was, yeah.
But when you're running in Oklahoma, they're not, or wherever, they're not as hot, and you're in a 10,000 seat arena sitting 3,000 people. It looks like dog shit, right? It looks
like shit. It sounds like shit.
But fill 3,000 to 4,000 seat arena and get it rocking, and nobody's gonna care. Yeah. Get the arena at capacity. I'm gonna have to cut any sort of combination of those letters out of my vocabulary. And I brought up in the Discord, like, if this works, I think that DC Entertainment and Sports.
Oh, for sure, they've ran Dynamites from there, before,
right? Like it's a WNBA venue. Mm-hmm. It's like what I don't know, it's a 3,500 or 4,500 seat joint. Add a couple more, hundreds more for like the floor seats and stuff. But that is a really cool venue because it's like it's got a shit ton of parking because it's its own fucking complex. Yeah. It's away from everything. So do these little residencies. That'd be kind of cool. Even like them coming up to Allentown to the PPL Center.
That's awesome.
Allentown's a good spot if you're running a residency to get people in from Jersey, from New York, from Philly.
Sure.
And maybe not New York, but Jersey and Philly. You can do that there. So this would be a really interesting sort of evolution, which is a mystery in case you didn't know, but of sort of what touring wrestling can do to cut down some costs. You cut down travel costs. You can
I agree with that.
You can bunker down and do some more fan events just, in those areas over those months that aren't on the days of the wrestling, or pair with businesses, local businesses, and try and I don't know if they're going to think this far ahead on it, but try and give the local economies of these towns a boost also by having some of your stars, having a Statlander, having a Willow, having a Eddie Kingston, or whoever do an event at a restaurant or a bar, or some appearance somewhere, and try and drive business to the other things in those communities also, and get people out thinking about wrestling. Could be a really interesting possibility. Sort of not to get other indie wrestling involved in those areas, but like something on a smaller scale of what WrestleMania does for the areas.
Try to get your footprint down a little bit more, get more exposure. You know, like one thing I like on TV, they're highlighting like people throwing out first pitches.
Right.
I know Swerve, they've really been hammered at home, like him on TV, him on radio. And WWE at this point is a giant fucking machine, right? They're a
it is just a massive moving city, essentially. AEW is having a bit of a harder time finding their angle, one way or the other. Could sort of position themselves in that space as we're on TV and we're the number 2, but like, we're not this giant machine. We're still very much this more sort of attainable, accessible, smaller scale wrestling thing that still feels like wrestling. It still is wrestling. It still looks like wrestling. It's still got the production and the fireworks.
It's wrestling,
but we can connect to people on a different level than when the WWE machine rolls into town and it's an arena full of people and the trucks and the, whatever. I know WWE does a lot of community outreach also.
Yes, they do.
But like their machine seems so big and so polished and, and like just like WWE is super interested in making their wrestlers crossover stars.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is
that's the goal,
right? Which is great. None of this is a shot at WWE at all. It's just they are two different companies in two very different positions. And so, if you want to be this challenger brand, if you could sort of position yourself as like the down home wrestling company, that might be an interesting space to explore. I don't know if it'll work, but I think AEW could benefit from exploring these avenues where WWE doesn't need to. WWE's been in fucking business for how fucking long. They don't need to. They know what works. They have the people. They know how to do all the shit. Their machine, like, you couldn't stop that machine. You'd have to try really fucking hard. Like, I mean, listen. We all know what's going on with the WWE behind the scenes, and that machine has not stopped for a fucking second,
it's not
right?
Even skipping a beat.
AEW doesn't have that fucking luxury. Yeah. So let's explore some avenues and see where you can and can't do.
Try some shit.
For example, AEW needs to steal a phrase from our other podcast. They need a big idea, Brett.
Oh boy.
They need a big idea. Go listen to this week's Wings on Wings.
Why'd you have to remind me?
But they need a big idea. So I like this. I think that'd be interesting. And I think Matt or somebody brought up in the Discord about how cool the NXT shows were in Bethlehem.
Yeah, they were
AEW
awesome.
can't do that there. That's too small, and they don't do house shows.
Yeah.
But
remember when they did house shows? Like 2 of them?
Yeah, right?
That lasted
But find these, like this Arlington thing that's 2,500 seats, probably up to 3,500 when you get the floor seats and shit in. Find those venues. That's where you gotta be.
Try something.
That's where you gotta be. Get creative. Like if they went to DC for that entertainment and sports arena, like the seats are only on 3 sides. Yeah. So, it's so you'd have to be a little more creative with the entrances. They'd be shorter. But like New Japan does a good job.
Yeah.
But like you'd have to change how you do your production and your fireworks and all that kind of shit. But like, let's get creative. Let's think about these things. If you are the challenger brand, which I keep saying because Tony Khan likes to say that all the fucking time, but like, find the angles that WWE isn't doing. Don't necessarily try and be the little guy who punches WWE in the face and says, "Oh, I'm going to get you." Try and work things that they can't do. WWE couldn't come to those places. Like, if WWE was like, we're going to run in a 2,500 seat arena, like, people be camping. There'd be a run on tickets and riots, you know? That's not a shot on either company. That's it's where they're at. So if AEW can find a way to shift and do those kind of things and innovate what they can do, that maybe isn't innovating wrestling, but is innovating what they do as a company, that would be a pretty interesting thing, and I think something they need to look into as one of the things that can fix their problems. Because as I love AEW, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it, they got problems. So
no doubt.
It doesn't mean I don't love them, but they got fucking problems. Let me see if anything else is going on. We got that really sad Takeshita article today that I'm not going to talk about because I'll cry.
Yeah,
but man, Tony Khan, do better.
Just fuck is going on?
Do better, Tony Khan.
That hurts my heart.
Takeshita is to me a generational talent.
Yep.
Top 5 probably in that company right now. If not, if you want to argue with me, then top 10 I think is good for everybody. I think he can step into, at the state of Japanese wrestling, he can step into any Japanese promotion and be their number one guy. So treat him better so he doesn't fucking leave. Because you have him twisted in the fucking wind with the Job Squad. And I don't fucking like it. But yeah.
It hurts my heart. Go look it up.
Go look it up.
Bums me out.
I think that's about it. I think that's pretty good for news.
Yeah.
But I do have another thing really quick.
Oh, boy.
Just before we get into it, and I wasn't sure what this was going to be.
Who did what?
But because it's not this week news, I think it's last week news, or the week before, but I didn't really get to talk about it all, and I saw a thing. So I just want to, hold on one second here. Haven't played that one in a while.
The rarely broken out Dude's Rant Corner.
So we all have, it's come out, it's been told that Chuck Taylor is done.
Yeah,
right?
Essentially.
They said it's at least for right now, it's not a gimmick. It's not a story.
Yeah.
His ankle's bad enough that it right now looks like it's career ending. And he got to do this last match. He got to say shit. This was a couple weeks ago, but I saw something that pissed me off, so I just want to talk about it here. But he got to say shit on TV. He got to have his street fight with Trent, which was great.
Yeah.
And it right now is looking like a send off for a guy, right? Who everybody's praising him online from his training. I know the Pigman himself had a bunch to say about how important he was.
Absolutely.
And Chucky T is an underrated wrestler, honestly. He's a super talented dude.
Yeah.
Look at his stuff. Like, I know a lot of people think he's just like a goofball or whatever, but like a talented dude. I think he's been PWG champion. Like he did New Japan. Like he's been all over, and he's an underrated dude. He's friends with Okada.
Him and Will Kazu.
Yeah. But I saw, so I want to talk about Jim Clarinet, and this is the thing that pissed me off.
Oh boy.
I don't know if you saw this or not, but Cornette, who, listen, I'll put this out there right now. If you're a Cornette guy and you listen to this podcast, go fuck yourself and turn it off. But it's just honest. So he was talking about the street fight because he calls Chucky T some name and I don't know, whatever. And he saw that, the ankle thing, and then they ran the angle on TV that like Trent hurt Chuck so bad that his career's done. And Jim Cornette tweeted that he hopes that's not a storyline, and that he hopes Chucky T is hurt enough that he never gets to wrestle ever again. He genuinely hoped for the injury of a person and the end of their career.
Wouldn't be the first time, unfortunately.
Right. And so I don't give a shit if you don't like a wrestler. There's plenty of wrestlers I don't like.
Sure.
I don't like Jim Cornette. There's plenty of people I don't like. But I'm not wishing the loss of a livelihood from someone. So many people want to be professional wrestlers that never get the chance, right?
Sure.
And I think most wrestling fans, one way or the other, have had that even if it was just a glint in your eye at one point of wanting to do it, right?
Oh, of course.
You want to walk down that aisle. You want to get the cheers. You want to be in front of a ring. You want to have a match. You want to do WrestleMania, whatever.
Sure.
If you're not doing it for the title, what are you doing it for? But so few people in the grand scheme of how many people train to become professional wrestlers actually get to be wrestlers, and then even fewer of them get to be on TV, even fewer of them get to be on pay-per-view, even fewer amounts of them get to wrestle in Japan or hold belts or whatever.
Sure.
And to see a guy like Jim Cornette, who actually wish for not just the end of a career, not just for a guy to stop wrestling, but for a guy's injury to stop him from wrestling. You're actually hoping someone is hurt enough that they lose their dream and they lose their livelihood and they lose everything. Like, not that he's losing everything, but like, this is it. I'm pretty sure it's probably super important to Chucky T that he was a professional wrestler and he's not going to be able to do it ever again, right?
Yeah.
So this is a guy who in Jim Cornette, who is a famed wrestling historian, right? Famed, quote unquote, in his own mind, who, will very slyly run past any mention of talking bad about Grizzly Smith. Mm-hmm. He'll just sort of sidestep the Grizzly Smith stuff, right? He'll be, oh, Grizz was a great guy in the office, and you just leave everything else off to the side, right?
Sure.
You'll hide your eyes when you want to talk about their fabulous moolah and all the shit. Well, their contributions to wrestling outweighs the fucking absolute torture and disgustingness that she did throughout her entire career. But just a guy who you don't like his in-ring work. Like, it's not, maybe personally, maybe you don't, whatever. But like, the main crux of this is like, I don't think he's a good wrestler, so I want him to be hurt to never wrestle again, is a bizarre thought for me. So, they work a mud show, they do flippy shit, they're not in shape, they, like, all these things are, one way or the other, could be valid, could be not. Lots of one-time respected guys talking about how the guys aren't in good enough shape anymore and they look like indie assholes and whatever. Got me all worked up. But
I can tell you're right over
there. Yeah. So, but I'm going to say this to Jim Cornette about Chucky T and about just wishing harm on just because you don't like a guy who wrestles. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. And the horse you watched fuck your wife while you sat in the corner of the magazine room that you have upstairs in your attic, you low-life fucking cuck. Like, take that with your double cheese fucking hamburger and choke on it. Like, I got so mad. Like, I don't give a shit if you don't like Chucky T. I don't care, right? I don't know Chucky. Right? I happen to like him. Mm-hmm. I don't know him. I've seen him wrestle a whole bunch.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these guys, right? I'm just a fan. Cornette doesn't know these guys either. But just to have and he's doing it for clicks and for his fucking network of people who are like,
it's all great,
at Jim Cornette, look what this person said. Look at this botch, Jim. Pay attention to me, daddy. I don't understand, like, the fact that you're going to wish an actual harm. Like, he was like, good that he's actually hurt. That's fucking ridiculous. It's so insane to me to be that fucking miserable and that just shitty about another person. Like, when you could just turn off your TV, right? If you don't want to see Chucky T wrestle, just put on something else. I'm sure you got other things to watch. I'm sure you could watch a fucking Mr. Wrestling 1 match or some shit. Yeah. Or go watch Grizzly Smith fucking wrestle if you love him so goddamn much.
Thems don't pay the bills.
Right? And so, and I know he's gotten this following that he needs to keep the outrage machine going so that they pay his fucking bills.
That's what it is.
But to me, there's a difference between outrage machine and actually wishing ill will and harm on someone. To that, just fuck you, Jim Cornette.
Yeah, and I know it's not the first time he's done it.
It's not.
And it won't be the last. I know.
Nope.
I think he did it to I think it was G-Raver.
Yeah, right. He did a G-Raver too. Right. Well, but
say what we want about that.
Right.
Still saying I wish it would have bled out.
And there's a difference between saying I don't think this guy should be a wrestler anymore, and I think this guy should be hurt so bad that he never gets to wrestle again.
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculous.
There's a difference. Yeah. I agree with you.
It's insane.
That's why I just I see it and I just keep moving.
I don't follow any Cornette stuff. I don't, you know what I mean? It just popped up and I was like, is he really fucking saying this?
Yeah, not a lot comes across my timeline.
It was one of the rare things that popped through and I was like, that fucker. And it just pissed me off because just don't wish actual harm on anybody in that way. Particularly over a guy who you're like, oh, I don't like the way he does a fucking working punch or it's just nonsense. He doesn't lift enough weights for me to think he's a wrestler. I think he should get hurt so bad that he can't make a living in wrestling anymore. It's nonsense. particularly because of also the people that he praises. But that's it.
Chuck Taylor has one of my favorite tweets ever to Jim Cornette.
When he says the fake Kentucky thing and he says, "Is it Ricochet?"
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
That's one of the best tweets I've ever seen.
And it probably pissed Cornette off so bad because Chucky T was funnier than him or whatever. But yeah, the solace is that, I mean, you know, I don't give Cornette a ton of time. I know I did here, but the solace is that, you know, he has a very insulated following. It's not, you know, he's not growing his following, I don't think. He's a very sad, pathetic man who is going to fade away eventually, probably from a massive heart attack from eating all those fucking double cheeseburgers.
Well, and you know, I know a lot of people have said Cornette would have been fine if he stopped watching wrestling in like 99, 2000. Would have been fine.
Right.
You know?
I don't even care if it's not your particular type of wrestling.
Dude,
right. Absolutely. And that might be what hurts a little bit more too, is that knowing how knowledgeable he is and how he is one of the last bastions of those guys, and he's such a piece of shit that instead of like positively sharing his knowledge and his abilities, he just instead wants to be a troll who pretends he's like a progressive member of society. Right. When really he's just a piece of shit. So take your tennis racket and go fuck yourself.
All the fucking grift.
It's all the grift. It absolutely is a grift. It caught in my craw this week and I wanted to talk about it.
Now your craw's been my god.
My craw has been my god.
So
correct.
There you go. That was another answer on Jeopardy this week.
Krav Maga?
Yeah, I got real excited.
All right.
Because it was like, something like if you see somebody wearing a red hat and what it stands for, but then
Guardian Angels.
But then it's
what's that referee doing? Everything should be in a red.
But then I was like, but actually, what's this Israeli fighting form or whatever? I don't even know the exact clue.
Do they wear red hats in that?
No, it was yeah. But I was like, Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
Doug used to do Krav Maga.
Did he?
I believe he did. Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah,
Doug, if I'm wrong,
it's very efficient.
Doug, if I'm wrong, take credit because Krav Maga is pretty badass.
Right. I always thought about there was a point in my life where I looked for a school because it was like, it's like a super efficient. Like I'm just going to punch you in the throat.
Yeah.
So
I think there was a school down in Philly. It was either Muay Thai or Krav Maga. I'm pretty sure it was Krav Maga.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, this isn't. I need Krav Maga.
This is not. We need Doug. Although we do need Doug.
I fucking need him more than I need air to breathe.
But yeah, let's move on from my fucking rant. Thank you for putting up with
that. He's gonna make Ed some money.
He's going to make Ed lots of money.
Yeah. So, all right. Do you want to talk about wrestling?
We will go wherever you want to go, pal. You tell me.
All right. Let's do it then. So,
are we doing Resurgence as an American angle, or are we doing that after Japan?
That'll be Japan.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the way we roll.
I never know.
So WWE.
Yes.
We always start this just because I run through it quick.
Yeah. I put on a bunch of Raw. But you'll have to refresh my memory if you watched any of Raw. I mean, I know we did SmackDown first, but I'll see if anything sparks my brain when we get there. But go ahead, sorry.
So SmackDown. This was live.
Remember when we used to watch NXT?
Dude,
people talk about NXT all the time, and it feels like a stranger to me.
I saw. I looked at the match card this week, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
any of these people.
So, I know a little bit. I know Obafemi because of Tim the Tailor-Made Man.
Yes.
I know some people, obviously Lexus King because of because we're all metrolectuals. What are we? Intellectuals, Lex offenders.
Lectual assault victims anytime he's on my fucking television.
I see people talking about it. I'm like, it seems like such a strange thing to me.
Executioners.
Execute myself if I have to put up with it. But it seems like such a strange sort of being to me. And this show literally started with us covering NXT because it was so fucking good.
So there's a spoiler for NXT next week.
Yeah.
That I may watch. Just because.
Did they film it in advance, or it's just something that's coming
filmed
out?
it. They filmed 2 shows last night. One was live, and they taped another one after.
Oh,
something that happens where I'm like,
We're not going to talk about it here.
No,
all right.
This is a spoiler.
I'm making no. You'll have to tell me about it. Am I going to want to watch it?
For shits and giggles, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So SmackDown emanated from beautiful Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania last Friday.
Oh, shit. I didn't watch the Wilkes-Barre SmackDown. I
completely
forgot.
I watched a match from the Wilkes-Barre SmackDown.
Was it Randy Orton versus... Who was the main event?
Yeah, dude. Randy Orton, AJ Styles.
Was it AJ Styles?
Fuck yeah.
Battle of the Gas Monsters?
Dude, chicken and rice subscribers.
Sorry,
okay?
chicken and rice subscribers. Sorry.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
I said gas monsters. I meant diet monsters. Yeah, sorry, my bad. I have a speech impediment.
Obviously, I'm sure Joe on Ad Odds is going to give you a full rundown because he was there. Fuck, dude. Listen, there's a lot of.
Are you
Randy Orton actually good?
Are you going to tell me this was a good match?
It was fucking awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right,
dude.
good. Well, put it in the Discord.
Listen, Wilkes-Barre's Viperville. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
I swear to God, I saw Joe leading the fucking chance of RKO. I swear.
Randy Orton was sort of tailor-made for Wilkes-Barre.
So I was like, I kind of did like a, when did I start liking Randy Orton? And I went I just searched my Twitter name and Randy Orton or whatever. And it was 2019. And I had tweets where I'm like, I think I get it finally. Okay. I was like, I think I'm in.
Listen,
that's 5 years. I'm 5 years in Viperville.
I've been back and forth. So I think we've talked about it on here, but years and years and years and years and years ago when I was a bill collector, my fake name was Randy Orton. And people used to think I was the actual Randy Orton for whatever reason, calling to collect money from them.
Yeah.
I was only Randy Orton because they didn't let me pick Jake the Snake Roberts or Jake Roberts because there was already a girl with the last name Roberts.
Yeah.
But so I was just in on the Snake Man. But we used to do all the time, and my friends when we were younger used to do all the Chuck Norris shit, but it was about Randy Orton because Randy Orton was cool as shit. And then I definitely fell off the Randy Orton train. And I'm not saying I'm on it now, but I certainly don't think he's bad.
He looks better than ever.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember when he came back from that injury.
Remember Survivor Series? Remember he walked out, we just looked at each other like,
Matt Cardona.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Armpit vagina, Matt Cardona.
Listen, Wilkes-Barre is a Randy
Were they rocking and rolling?
For Orton? Absolutely.
Because last time, and Joe talked about this on Night Outs last week, because last time when we were all there, everybody's like, oh, this crowd fucking sucks. And we're like, what are you talking about? They were rocking and rolling in person.
Highest attended wrestling show ever at the arena.
But it sounded loud on TV, though?
The Orton, from what I saw,
Orton did at least?
They were going wild for Orton.
That's all. Main event. That's
why the fuck am I going to,
it was main event, right?
Yeah, and dude, AJ Styles, I still fucking got it.
Who do you ever beat?
Yeah, I wish that he would cut his hair a little bit.
Yeah. Did I see this correctly? Sidebar, did they reboot Talking Shop this week?
They've rebooted it a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and they're just talking freely about
the clip
with Fale.
of where Fale ever doing. They're like, he's not a businessman, he's a businessman. And they said probably not to get the OG Bullet Club in the WWE, which is funny. He's the only one there now.
He's the only one who's not there. Yeah, the core four. Wow, holy shit. Yeah, he'll come into a spot. Why not?
Sorry, that's me doing my Tangaloa. They changed his name.
Yeah,
Tangaloa.
But man, listen, I understand Randy Orton's a hot topic of fucking discussion.
Yeah, sure.
I
got no problem with Randy. I even like that fucking conference room fight he had with Edge on that one pay-per-view.
Oh, you mean the one where they got to the fucking weight set and he tried hanging him?
Yeah.
Yeah. That didn't conjure any memories of any wrestler ever did that.
I don't recall.
Mm-hmm. I'll refresh your memory.
This is another fucking absolute sidebar. It shows up in my Instagram all the time, and I don't think I live you know what Kill Tony is?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a guy on Kill Tony called Casey Rocket.
That's a Tony Hinchcliffe, right?
Yeah. I don't love what they do, but there's some funny things. But there's this guy called Casey Rocket, and he's he's a real jittery guy on stage, and he was the doorman at the Comedy Store or whatever, and he got promoted, so he's not the doorman anymore. And on Kill Tony, they said, now that you're not the doorman, what are you going to do with all your free time? And he's like, well, I have some ideas. And he pulled out a scroll and he said first, or maybe it wasn't first, but he said, exonerate Chris Benoit and find the real killer. And I was like, oh my God. Yikes. So it's not that hard to find. Whenever Kevin Sullivan's doing an appearance, just go talk to him about it.
I'd make a joke about Kevin Sullivan, but I think Conrad tweeted about something about him being sick right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like,
That's a shame. I also legitimately like Kevin Sullivan too, so
he's all right.
He's like 5'5" and he's all barrel chested, and
I respect you, Booker, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, though, man, Orton, AJ, and this is all King of the Ring stuff.
Oh, was that a King of the Ring qualifier?
Yeah, well, it's like a first round match, which is funny because I'm I'm watching the tournament matches. I ain't going to watch the final because it's in Saudi.
That's what we didn't talk about in news either. They're trying to get a Rumble and a Mania there.
I won't watch it.
Me either.
I won't fucking do it.
I think it'd be bad for business.
I just won't do it.
A Mania there, I think that stinks.
Yeah,
that's a bad idea.
No. listen, like,
I don't know they'll ever do it.
I think the furthest you could do, like, I know you did the Australia shows, but, like, who really fucking watched those?
Right.
You can't do one of your main pay-per-views, like, outside of North America.
Right.
I know you did SummerSlam, that was back in 92. You know, like, there's a reason you haven't done it since.
Right, that's the thing. Even if you just go to London, that's 8-9 hours difference or whatever. Like, that's tough.
That's hard.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Like, who do you put out? Do you put out the American, like the North American fans, or do you put out the British fans for time wise? Like, it's tough.
Yeah. For a Monday Night Raw,
yes,
I watched another 2 matches.
Okay. I swear I tuned into Raw maybe like 9:15, 9 somewhere around there.
Well, that's funny because these I think both happened in the first hour.
Okay, so I won't even be able to tell you what happened.
Yeah. So one of the Queen of the Ring tournament matches. Io Shirai and Shayna Baszler.
Did not see it.
Oh man, this was so good.
Yeah.
Even on commentary, they're like, "Oh, these two have history," and I'll go, "Oh, they're going to talk about NXT," and they go, "Yeah, when their battles over the World of Stardom title." I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Whoa, that's weird." And they've mentioned Io and Stardom before on the air. It's Rossi fucking.
Oh, Rossi, yeah, absolutely
feeding them that info.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you see? I think it was somebody from Stardom, the president. He's like, I got a call a couple weeks ago from one of our sponsors that Rossi was having a meeting for him, trying to talk them into going to Miracle. And he's like, "Is there no honor anymore?" I was like, "No, it's not."
Listen,
fucking hate, brother.
I don't have a problem with that at all because when Noah split, they took all Japan's fucking time slots.
Exactly.
So if Masawa does it, I got no problem. I can't blame Rossi for doing it. A little bit of a difference between Masawa and Rossi. There certainly is. But yeah, I don't know how many people Masawa forced into a bikini pictorial. Maybe just Ogawa.
With a zebra striped banana hammock.
Yeah, that's it. He broke out the bikini cut zebra underwears.
God,
it was probably
briefs.
It. Yeah.
But yeah, they mentioned that, and then they talked about their feud in NXT.
Yeah.
Where they're like, they even had a cage match over the NXT title. I was like, wow. This is weird hearing like wrestling history on WWE.
Super weird.
I like it.
It's a new era.
It's nice. I will say, like, they've cut down on a lot of like the Crash, Kevin Dunn fucking stuff, which is good. Yeah. It's a more presentable product for me to watch, I think. I still ain't gonna fucking watch it all the time.
So that's the thing. Like, I know you said you want more match, and I watched a bunch of the show, but like, I still kind of hated it. I couldn't find the groove of it. Like, and it's probably a me thing more than anything, right?
You couldn't get into the groove.
I couldn't. I
Boy, you got to prove.
I couldn't. Yeah.
What a banger!
Yeah. I couldn't find. I couldn't tap into it for whatever reason. It's probably because I've been away for so long, and maybe I would if I kept watching. But I just had such a hard time, and which is fine. I'm not bashing WWE's product. That's not my intention. I just know it's not for me, so I'm just not going to bother watching it, which is something anybody can do, which is really kind of freeing in a way. But yeah, I was like, well, I got nothing going on. Michelle's been sick, so she was laying in bed. And I was like, well, let me just put it on like a bag of board comics, whatever. And I couldn't figure it out. I didn't love it. There was stuff with Alpha Academy. Where like
for me,
where he's like a real mean guy to everybody now.
Part of me, I'm like, they're already like missing the ball on that.
Well, I think they're just going to lead to a feud with Gable and Otis, right? Like that's where they're at now.
Yes, but I'm like, God damn it! Like Gable had such that great heel turn, and then
right,
and maybe it's been good. Nothing of note for me though.
But anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, man, Io versus Shayna was real cool. Io was doing her entrance where she like leans down on the ropes and then comes back up. And when she went to come back up, Shayna popped up on the apron and snap married her to the outside. I was like, oh shit!
I like Shayna.
Shayna's fucking good, dude. Yeah. I really enjoyed this. Io won. Io's moving on. I wouldn't be surprised if Io wins.
Oh, who won the Orton? AJ Orton.
Orton.
So he's moving on in the King of the Ring.
Yeah, they're kind of setting up him and Tama Tonga to like, because Orton cuts a promo backstage where he's like, Tama Tonga basically, you're a bitch, and like when you get that RKO, I'm going to make sure you see it coming.
Well, so they made him change the stun gun, right? The stun gun is now like
he doesn't do it anymore. He does like
he jumps, but he goes backwards. Like it's more
he
like
does like the old like
it's like a stroke almost.
He does like the old like a jumping like
flatliner.
Yeah, what the fuck did Shelton Benjamin call it? It was like the final shot or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, nobody else is doing a cutter.
No, right. That's what I figured. But yeah.
But yeah, man, Io Shea, listen.
Yeah.
I fucking love Io. And she's like, they're kind of positioning her as a baby face right now.
I saw that Asuka's out.
Yeah.
With a knee, so she's taking time off.
She got hurt before Mania.
Yeah, she worked for a long time on that injury. But like you're giving Dakota a lot of time. Like they seem to be like that. I like that. They are certainly, like, to Triple H's credit or whoever is booking stuff, they're definitely positioning more people that I like in good spots and like trying to do more wrestling. It's just, you know, it's still not for me, but it doesn't mean there's not quality stuff there.
There's still quality stuff. Yeah. Something else that I think is very quality. We had Gunther versus Kofi Kingston.
I saw this.
King Kofi Kingston.
I watched this. I saw this.
It was
I like
good,
this.
Right? Yeah. I was a little thrown off. I didn't know when Kofi Kingston started wrestling in like basketball shorts.
Yeah, well.
Threw me off a little bit. I'm used to him. I don't know. No, he's been wrestling Long Boys for a while.
Yeah, it's weird that the New Day has sort of fallen apart in the sort of wake of Big E's injury. And I think Xavier's hurt now too, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if that's story.
Yeah, well, whatever. But I like Kof, and this is when I saw this was happening, I was like, oh, well, that's a matchup I like. Tiny little guy versus absolute fucking killer.
So one thing I liked about this too, before their match, they showed like a little like hype package, like giving like a little like feud to this because Imperium took out Xavier.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I'm like, oh, this is a little different. I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Again, another solid match.
Yeah. So listen to me being an ass. Oh, the WWE's everything for me, and then this. I'm like, oh yeah, this was cool.
Gunther
fucking
rocks,
idiot.
dude.
Gunther rules. If I was gonna watch a dude, if I was gonna be like, I'm gonna tune into a dude's everything,
it's Gunther.
Give me that guy.
Yeah. And I look at last week, like him, Sheamus.
I mean, he wrestled Kobashi, so how can I?
It's true. Like him, Sheamus was just a fucking brawl. Now it's like awesome. Him, Kofi, like he could work with anybody.
Yeah.
I do wonder if he's just going to win King of the Ring.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I know next round it's going to be him and Jey Uso.
I would have him win King of the Ring, have him change it to like Emperor of the Ring or some shit, and right to the title. I'm sorry, Cody, but have him just dog walk Cody or Priest.
Cody ain't doing anything.
No.
So that's all the WWE I watched. Yeah. We'll talk AEW.
Okay.
Collision.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't watch any fucking. I looked at the rundown of Rampage. We talked about this before we recorded. I ain't doing it.
All set over here, brother.
I'm good. Give me a reason to watch your fucking wrestling. And I love AEW, and but like my love has bounds, and that I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. Can't do it. Not gonna do it.
No, not gonna do it.
All right, Collision. What was good on Collision? What are we gonna talk about?
Danielson and Claudio against Top Flight.
Yes, against the Jobbers to the Stars, Top Flight.
Yeah, that's what they are. Mm-hmm. They're not winning shit, man.
It's because
that tag division's held up right now.
Right, and they get in these matches. They look good. They do like a cool thing or two, and they just take a fucking beating.
Yeah,
they take a good beating.
Listen, not every team needs to be tag champs. They don't.
No, they don't. Right.
You know.
No, right. Somebody's got to be disorderly conduct.
Yeah. Watch your mouth.
What? That was a compliment.
But High Voltage should have been champs.
So that I agree with. But Dragon post match addresses the crowd, gives a round of applause for Top Flight.
And this is where Claudio walks out.
Yeah, and he gets his rah AEW speech.
So Claudio walks out on him.
Yeah.
Did you see when it was at the beginning of Rampage because it carried over? Where they interviewed Claudio backstage and asked him why.
No.
And he said, he goes, you know, I'm here for Brian. I love him. That's my brother. Mm-hmm. Last time he was in Anarchy in the Arena, he almost ended his career. Mm. And he goes, and I'm sorry, but I just don't support it. And I can't do this. And he says, he's like, I'm just in Mexico with him. Yeah. He's on his last little year. I was just in Mexico with him. I went to Japan with him.
Yeah.
He goes, can't do it. And I was like, oh. All right, that's like a good reason.
Do you think Dragon on his way out does like a loop of friends again?
I would love that.
Give me like one last with all my boys.
I'd love him to wrestle Claudio. I'd love him to wrestle Mox.
And eventually he's gonna start putting people over. Maybe.
I don't know if Tony.
I don't know if he needs to, but I would like him to do just a little loop of buddies again. You know,
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Because I think Wrestle Dream is kind of the target date of him finishing up. So full time.
We'll believe that when we see
even though he's already like, I ain't retired. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm just
fuck my
slowing
kids.
it down.
Kids are stupid. They'll get over it.
What did you think of Ospreay Lee Moriarty?
I thought it was a good little match.
I did too.
I like Moriarty. We've said that a bunch. He needs a ton of polish, but I think he's a very talented dude. When they signed him off the Indies, I was like, this is a really good get if you had a developmental. You don't. But I like him. The thing I liked the most in this match was Ospreay teasing the Stormdriver.
Loved it. Love that. I love him staring right at Roddy again, that smirk on his face. Lifting him up because you think it's coming, and then hitting him for the Stormbreaker.
Yeah, right.
Love it. It's just, and like Nigel put it over on commentary. He goes, "Oh my god, now we brought the Stormbreaker to AEW because he hasn't done it yet."
Yep. Right. It's interesting too to see Ospreay. I don't know if it was this week or last week when he talked about how hard promos are for him because of his ADHD and whatever. And it's like, oh, okay. You're starting to look like a human being and talk about things. Because we talk about it on here. Like, there was a period in Ospreay's career where he was getting a bad rap and was rubbing the wrong people, the right people the wrong way. And a lot of people have an issue and have a grudge, and he's had to do a lot of correcting to get where he is, both in ring style, put on weight, start wrestling like a heavyweight, and start talking to people about this kind of shit. And I think it endears him a bit to the crowds. So that's interesting. I think he cuts decent promos.
He cuts.
I think he cut awesome one. Was it Collision or was it Dynamite that he cut a promo this week?
Dynamite, where him and Roddy backstage.
Yeah, that was really good. I like that a lot. We'll get there. But yeah, I like the teasing of the Stormdriver. I hope that like he doesn't bust it out in like this match against Roddy. Like I hope it's like if he's gonna bust it out, like tease this shit for months and months, right? Like make sure there's a lot of space in between you doing it. Because let me put it this way, Roddy, I love you, but if Will Ospreay needs the Stormdriver 92 to beat you, then we got a fucking problem. Yeah. But I thought it was a good little match, and I like the stuff they're doing with Ospreay.
I fucking hate the post match.
Where the fuck Shane Taylor chants? Yeah, Shane Taylor stinks.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
You're Will Ospreay versus Shane Taylor. Listen, nothing against him personally. Yeah. I don't fucking get it with Shane Taylor.
I don't either.
I don't understand.
I'm completely on board with you. But do you think there's got to be a factor for a guy like Will Ospreay where these are at least people he's at least interested in working with, right? Like, do you think that like Tony Khan or whoever's booking is like, this is who you're wrestling this week? Like, for some people, like Top Flight doesn't have a fucking choice, obviously. Private Party's not going to be able to pick and choose. But I would imagine that Ospreay has a little bit of like, yeah, I'll work with that dude. Or, like pitch me a couple people and let me see who I can work with.
So I think that's part of it.
Because Taylor does have a following. He was a Ring of Honor guy for a while. People, I don't get him. You don't get him. But people like him. I don't get it.
So Ospreay, I go back to before the first Forbidden Door. When they were talking about Ospreay having a match on the show.
Yeah.
And him saying, he goes, naming some bigger names. He's like, yeah, it's fun. And he goes, give me Orange Cassidy.
Right.
And he said, he goes, watch what we can do and watch us steal the show.
Yeah, and they did.
And they did. They fucking did.
Who was that match supposed to be originally? Wasn't it supposed to be somebody else?
No.
No,
it was always Orange.
Yeah, I think
the only match that got changed, which Claudio brings up in the promo about Anarchy in the Arena, Claudio debuted at Forbidden Door because it was supposed to be Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Right.
But like, so even like then, like a couple years ago, Ospreay's going, give me him.
Yeah.
Like he says, oh, Omega, that'll be great. Like, why give me the matches that we already know are going to be great?
Sure.
Let me surprise you.
Right.
And that really did. I mean, that really legit, like to a certain amount of people, it legitimized Orange Cassidy in the ring.
Sure. Oh, let's fingers crossed. Maybe he'll surprise us against Shane Taylor. I don't think he's going to, but who knows? I'll tell you what, if anybody's going to at this moment in time, it could be Will Ospreay.
He could wrestle a fucking broom right now.
Right. So we'll see what happens. But I'm with you on the Shane Taylor. I'm off the Shane Taylor train. I've never even on it.
I was gonna say I've never.
I watched it. I watch it blow by and I go, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. I liked the swerve beatdown on. What are their names?
The Gates of Agony and Brian Cage.
and Bishop Khan.
Bishop Khan.
I like that.
Yeah.
It showed Swerve still showing, okay, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You want to jump me from behind?
Yeah.
Now you got this version of me you got to deal with.
I like that they did have Cage sort of clarify that they did it to butter up the Young Bucks. Like I just like that they are trying to pay attention to like giving people a legitimate reason for doing things. Like, sure. and we weren't sure who it was, if it was for Christian or if it was the Bucks, and it's sort of the Bucks having their hands in a bunch of things at once, is sort of like the big villain story right now in AEW. So I like that. But yeah, Swerve takes him out and fucking rules and cuts a great promo.
Swerve's awesome.
Swerve's great, man.
He's so fucking good.
I swear he got bigger this week too. I looked at him and I was like, "Did you get bigger again?" Jesus Christ!
Rice,
slow down.
Well, chicken rice.
Yeah. But and again, he's out. We said before, but he's out throwing the first pitches. He's doing the fucking
radio interviews, TV interviews. Yeah.
This is that we said. Like, I think all of us said. I think Ed Odds said. I think it, probably if you have your wits about you, almost every wrestling podcast that's worth its salt said like, "This is the dude you get out in front of people." He's the coolest. He's a good looking dude. He's the coolest dude. Like, this is a guy you want as your champion out there doing these things.
Yeah.
And with the Christian side of it, who is fucking crushing his entire run in AEW. Mm-hmm. What a legend. And one of, again, not the first person, I'm not breaking any ground here, but like, what an underrated fucking talent Christian is.
No doubt.
But like, the way that they're able to weave what is essentially a double turn without being a double turn of the Nick Wayne stuff into it. Swerve, like, you bloodied him in his dad's fucking gym, and that was when Swerve was like this horrible fucking dude, and Nick Wayne was a baby face with Darby, but they're weaving this all together, and I'm like, God, they're just fucking paying attention. And I'm like, thank you for paying attention to this shit. And it works, and Swerve's the fucking dude.
Yeah, so when people want to complain about, like, no story, point right to that.
Right. There's plenty of problems.
There's problems, but, like...
There's not no story.
Yeah.
There is story. They're not fulfilling it everywhere they should be. But, like, this shit is great, and Christian just fucking crushes it. What a dude on the mic, for real.
Yep, I agree.
And you can go meet Mother Wayne in New Jersey this weekend if you want.
I'm all set.
Okay.
Did you, there was something I wanted to say about Swerve. I forget. So he showed up at Defy over the weekend.
I saw it and they did autographs with everyone, like free meet and greet.
Free.
That's awesome.
He's like, yeah, just come get your picture and we'll talk and autograph, whatever, for free. Everybody in the bill, like, that's the type of shit you need to be doing.
Right.
Shows up there with the AEW World title, defines his home promotion, it's fucking awesome. Right. And he used to come out to Shaka Khan, Ain't Nobody, and that fucking song.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love Shaka Khan.
That song's a whole banger.
Yeah. If everybody listening out there,
pause this and go listen to Shaka Khan, Ain't Nobody.
Go listen to Shaka Khan, and if you like say to yourself, Shaka Khan, who cares? Go listen to Rufus, her fucking soul band before she went solo. So fucking good. Shaka Khan, Rufus with Shaka Khan rocks. And look up younger Shaka Khan, total fucking babe.
A fact.
Absolute babe Shaka Khan was.
Dax Harwood.
Yes.
Versus Dynamite Kid's nephew, Tommy Billington. Dude, when he walked out, I go, well, I'm happy they said nephew because I would have said, oh, that's his kid.
Absolutely. Well, last week we weren't sure, but
what a spitting image.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man.
The kid's got the tools, brother.
Well, good.
Kid's got the tools. Listen, so he has the tools. He's got another thing though. So he's inherited, I'm going to say, two things from his uncle. He's got the tools and also the recklessness.
I love it.
Learn a lesson. And listen, I'm not safety policing anything.
Get fucking nuts,
but
dude.
Like, we know that story ends poorly.
Sure.
And I know that there was other additives that made it end poorly.
There was, yeah.
But if there is a cautionary tale in professional wrestling, it is Dynamite Kid's fucking life.
Of course, yeah.
But that being said, he entertained the shit out of me.
I thought this was awesome, dude.
And I was super into it. And, we can all just collectively agree to forget how Dynamite Kid used to wake up his wife.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to find out, go read in his book.
Do we? So I'm assuming because he looks so much like him that it's like the Dynamite Kid brother's child or sister's. Like that's
I'd imagine.
Not like Dynamite Kid's wife's brother.
He looks so much
like him. Who knows? Yeah,
I thought he was fucking awesome, and I really hope that this wasn't just a one-shotter.
Yeah, see what happens.
And then he put online either the next day or the day after. Mm-hmm. He was with Uncle Brett.
Oh, yeah?
Watching the match together.
Oh, that's cool.
Brett was giving him tips.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, man.
Because Brett loves FTR.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yep. They took a picture together and somebody filmed them on the couch watching the match together.
Oh, man. I really wish, Brett would get and I know he won't, and I know his loyalty is where they are and whatever, but like, I would love to see Hitman in AEW.
See, though, here's the thing.
Just
it's
around.
so fucking funny. This is why Brett is the goddamn best, and I will die for that, man.
Okay.
This motherfucker will openly shit talk WWE.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they still pay him money.
I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but it's because he's the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
I love it.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy. Where he's just like, yeah, I'll watch AEW. Yep. Yeah, I talk openly about AEW. Not like all these other old fucks, they're still on the goddamn payroll.
The thing this week, I watched a clip of him like getting to a ring and wherever he was, and maybe it was an Australian thing or whatever.
It was, yeah.
But he said, he goes, so when I watch wrestling now, ain't nobody wrestling like Hulk Hogan. He's like, everybody's wrestling like me. And I'm like, you're goddamn right, Hitman. You're goddamn right.
You know why?
Because the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Listen, as Mr. Brooks said it in that one post-scrum the one time.
Mel Brooks?
No. Oh. Phil, listen to me. Brett was right.
James L. Brooks?
No, definitely not.
Albert Brooks.
Dana Brooks.
Brooks Brothers.
Dana Brooks.
Oh, Dana Brooks. Oh, okay.
Yeah, your girl.
Dana Brooks. I know who that is. Right. Okay.
Brett was right.
Yeah, Brett's always right.
And it just makes me happy that he was always right. Main event?
Brooks and Dunn. No, sorry.
God damn.
No.
Brooks and Dunn fucking rocks.
No. Because before we get to this fucking main event, I gotta give two giant fuck offs because they're in my notes. You're gonna make Thunder Rosa versus Robin Renegade go 2 fucking segments?
Brother, I skipped that shit.
Go fuck yourself.
Fast. I skipped it so hard.
So did I.
I said I ain't watching that shit.
I didn't watch it, but fast forwarding, I saw that it was a 2-segment. Fuck you.
I'm good.
And
all set over here.
And then Johnny Nitro and Taya promo, and Taya came out and said she's been having some health issues and everything, and that good. I'm glad she's feeling better.
I thought you said great.
Maybe she's doing better. She said she was suffering from hair loss and a lot of stuff. Yeah. And I don't wish ill like that on anybody.
No.
Maybe it'll help her become a better wrestler. And then. Just fuck this segment. They're like all over each other. I shouldn't see your fucking tongues. And then Johnny challenges Pac. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, just fucking knock it off. So that was a double fuck off segment on Collision.
Pac beats him up for real.
But Cool Kyle versus Edge.
Yeah, dude.
For the main event. Where are they? In
Vancouver.
What's a Canada city?
Vancouver, the home of the Canucks.
Okay.
You mother Canuckers.
Oh. I'm a Hartford. I'm the Whale fan more than
the Whalers.
The Whale. Hartford the Whale.
Hartford the Whale. Yeah. So now you're a Carolina Hurricanes fan by default.
Did they jump to that? Is that what happened? No, really. I have no idea. I don't know. Hockey's stupid. That's not true. Hockey's not stupid.
Hartford Whalers have one of the best logos ever.
Yeah. Do you know? I only know Harvard Whalers because of the beginning of Mallrats. That's Brody Bruce is playing the Sega, and
NHL '94,
and he wakes up, and Shannon Doherty tries to stop him. He's like, Hartford, the Whale. They only make it to the Stanley Cup once, maybe twice in a generation.
It's true. He's right.
So that's the only hockey joke. But I've seen hockey live, and I had a lot of fun, so I can't say hockey's stupid.
Hockey live is much better than on TV.
Yeah, I can't watch it on TV.
So
anyway, Cool Kyle versus Edge.
The Copester.
The Copester.
Big Cope himself versus Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes. Adam Copington.
I thought this was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love Kyle O'Reilly, and it makes me very happy he's back in a wrestling ring, and hearing that crowd get behind him and like booing Edge. Yeah. It was just so fun, you know.
I know that Edge can't lose. I don't think the belt was on the line here. Was it?
Yeah, it was on the line.
Make this a qualifier and put Cool Kyle over and do the title match down the line. I get it. It's fine. The moment is still good because he had a really good match.
Yeah.
Cool Kyle is so good in that fucking ring.
Love him. I'm so happy he's back.
So happy he's back. That one arm is starting to gain a little bit of size.
Yeah.
So, but I have a question about Edge, about Adam Copeland. Admittedly, I was never an Edge guy, not an Edge head. I'm never an Edge guy. I've said it on the show. We've had these conversations. I think his absolute ceiling was Intercontinental title.
Sure.
I still don't and never have seen him as a world champion. It just doesn't make sense to me. People like him. He has a big following.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? But my question to you, because you probably have watched more Edge matches. You definitely have watched more Edge matches than me. is what Edge is doing in AEW better than what he was doing in WWE? Or is it my bias that is making me like him more?
So when you say better than what he was doing in WWE, what era?
Right. So that's another thing. I like Edge and Christian a ton.
Edge and Christian.
I love Edge and Christian.
Is all-time stuff.
I even like the Brood.
Part of the Brood, yeah.
I even like the Brood.
Great stuff.
But singles-wise, I've gone from dislike to actual hate.
So you didn't like when he came out to Rob Zombie.
I didn't. I do not like that stuff. With the Oakleys. The only thing I ever liked about the him and Lita stuff is that time he showed Lita's boob. But like the Rated R Superstar stuff, the end of his, even the end of like the tail end of his WWE stuff before he came to AEW, I liked him a little more. Like I liked neck injury return Edge a little bit there.
Okay.
Because he's like a little more grizzled of a guy. But I was thinking about it and I'm like, because I've never been an Edge guy. So like, let's say like prime Rated R Superstar world champion sort of Edge run pre-retirement. Okay. Was he this good then? Or is it just because I like AEW better that when you put a guy into a company I like, I'm like, oh yeah. Because I really enjoy what he does. I think he's doing really good stuff here. I still don't see him as world champion.
Edge's AEW's run's been awesome.
Right.
So here, I'll kind of run through it a little bit. Yeah, Edge and Christian, all-time
It's all-time stuff, absolutely.
Brood is fucking cool as hell.
Yeah.
Remember, Edge was part of the SmackDown 6.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, man. Really?
What's that?
So that's when SmackDown was on a fucking tear. This is when they originally did the brand split.
Okay.
And SmackDown really was like, always been platformed as the B show.
Sure.
The wrestling was fucking nuts.
Give me the years.
2002, 2003.
Okay, I wasn't watching.
This is when Brock really had his big run.
Yeah.
Brock, Angle was so SmackDown 6.
Well, okay, I watched that era. So I remember all that stuff.
Was mainly considered like, if I remember correctly, it was Benoit, Angle, Eddie,
I remember
Chavo,
all
that. Edge, and
Mysterio. You mean Kerwin White?
Yeah, yes. Edge and Mysterio.
Okay, I don't remember Edge being in that mix at all. But okay.
So like him and Mysterio, I think they were tag champs at one point.
Okay,
he also won the tag titles with
Hulk Hogan. I remember when he won it with Hogan. I remember that.
And they kind of like were building up as like Edge and Ray, and then Cena comes along like with his ruthless aggression shit.
Yeah.
Man, that fucking era of SmackDown was so good.
So here's why. So 2002, I graduate high school.
Sure.
And then, so that fall, I'm away to college.
Yeah.
I don't even have a television, right? I'm not watching anything.
Yeah.
But I do remember sort of that Lesnar and all that sort of stuff. I don't really remember Edge there, but sorry, so, go ahead.
Like, Rated R Superstar, when he does the heel turn, is with Lita. Like, it's not my cup of tea. Right. I don't love it. I know he was out for a little while during that. He had some injury. I don't love it.
Yeah.
Like Rated RKO with Orton, I thought was okay.
None of that is in my brain.
Yeah, he was tag champs with Orton.
I know the team name.
They were feuding with DX at the time.
What version of DX?
Triple H and Shawn.
But like
the revival.
With all right.
I thought like
it's DX, but it's Shawn Michaels and the DX Chaps.
It's DX of Light.
Yeah.
His feud with Cena I thought was good.
Yeah.
His feud with Taker I thought was okay. People listen, I'm sorry, the fucking Edge heads were not good. It's just not good.
That's Brian, and
I
wasn't there. Good. I wasn't there for that.
The whole La Familia thing, not for me.
I wasn't there for that.
Hit up Tim and Marcus; they'll give you a little bit more rundown on that. For me, I was like, I'm all. It's just, I don't like it.
Right.
Obviously, then he gets hurt, comes back all those years later. So Edge's thing was like I didn't like when he was the original leader of the Judgment Day.
I remember that. Yeah,
didn't care for that at all.
I remember like watching a little bit of that and being like, "This is weird," but then it was even weirder when they jumped him out.
Yeah, and Balor became the leader. Then, him and Balor had that cool cell match Mania.
Yeah, sure.
But at the end, he was. Then this was the big thing for him was. I don't want to be used as a special attraction. Right. I want to work.
Yeah.
I want to wrestle. I don't know how much longer I can.
Yeah.
And I want to get out there, and I want to work with these younger guys. Mm-hmm. And WWE was kind of like,
yeah, we're good.
We don't have a place for you here.
So, but
and like him and AEW, he's been really
right. Like
good.
I've really enjoyed his shit. I think his promos are good. I think his matches are good. I think he's working his ass off for a 50-year-old dude.
You can tell he's having fun,
right? And like I can't because I wasn't around at the time. Like I mean, I was watching and never really liked him, so I never bothered. But like him as champion, him with like the giant red trench coat and like the sun, like the Oakleys and shit. I never got it. I never liked
that. Was pre-champion.
Yeah, but then it leads into the like I just didn't. I never got him. So like I was just like, why am I getting him now?
I will say,
just because I like AEW.
When he cashes in his Money in the Bank, he was the first one to ever. I think he was the first one to cash it in.
Oh, really?
Was he? I think he was the first one who won it. When he cashed it in on Cena, it was it was a cool moment.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, oh shit, he's elevated to main event now.
Sure.
Me, I was like,
he just never felt like champion.
Yeah, I never loved Edge. I thought it was okay.
Right.
But this version, great.
Yeah.
Him and Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
They fucking, I thought they tore it down.
They did. Great match.
Great stuff.
Kyle's so smooth.
Kyle's awesome, man.
Kyle's one of those guys that is going to be a dude who probably isn't really going to hold a title, who isn't going to have a Hall of Fame level career with what's left. And it's a shame, right? Because you think about him in WWE, great run, but he never got out of NXT. No. Right?
Undisputed Era was great shit.
Right. But then at the end of NXT, he was with fucking Jeep Wagoneer or whatever the hell, doing camping bullshit. But like, so like, I don't know that like, he's definitely beloved, but I don't know that they're ever going to pull the trigger on him in AEW for like a title run, maybe like a TNT title or something, you know?
Have him win like a Continental.
Right. He's a good like old school US title kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know, also obviously very loved as a tag team wrestler.
Sure.
But like, when I watch him, I'm like, man, this kid he's just fucking good. I like watching him so much.
Still waiting for that Shibata match.
Right. And the fact that Edge
Remember when they did that like a month ago when Shibata helped him up backstage and literally nothing comes of it?
Yeah. Well, they'll pay it off in 5 years.
Fucking shit up.
But I like that Edge is stepping into the ring with these younger guys and just fucking going for it. He's not there's no like slow down kids. There's nothing. He's just like, let's do it.
I love it.
Fucking bang it out. So
dude's banging.
Just dude's banging.
I'm into it.
Who's not?
Dynamite.
Yes, Dynamite.
So this also kicks off with a version of the Blackpool Combat Club.
It does.
John Moxley.
Did they advertise this as happening?
It got advertised on Rampage.
Okay. Because when I put on Dynamite and I heard Mox's music, I was like, why is the champ here?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. So it's Moxley Danielson against Kyle Fletcher and Jeff Cobb.
Yes, Jeff Cobb. Who didn't come out with his TV title, his New Japan television title.
Somebody,
he's not a glory hound, that's why.
Well, he's not.
He's not a glory hound.
Somebody pointed out, they're like, oh, what a big deal when he gets a jobber entrance.
Yeah.
I thought this was fun for what it was.
But he didn't eat the pin, so.
Yeah, didn't eat the pin either. It's Kyle Fletcher. He's a Ring of Honor TV champ. Right. That means nothing.
Yeah.
Kyle Fletcher eats the pin, but I thought this was fun for what it was.
Yeah. So, they jump Mox before Dragon comes out. Dragon's music plays for a whole bunch of it. I liked it. These guys can wrestle. I would love to see more.
Yeah.
We talked about Cobb last week, how we've seen the top, the ceiling that Cobb has, but he's still a very talented wrestler.
Yeah.
And I like him and Fletcher as a tag team. That's some United Empire kind of stuff too.
Yep, we'll throw back.
And like, I don't know what they're doing with this, if this is going to be a feud, if that's, where they're going to spin out with this or whatever, but like, and I know you can't do it here, but can the Don Callis family can they buy a fucking win?
Nope, they can't.
And I know they can't here because of who they're working
all the time.
But they're just the jobber stable, and it goes back to Takeshita's sad thing where like he's like, I'm not getting any momentum, which you can even bring back to which just popped in my brain now. Emi Sakura had very similar complaints, not complaints necessarily, but like she had a very similar problem that her and Shida talked about because there's nobody advocating backstage for the wrestlers who don't speak English as fluently as everybody else. So those guys, like the Emi Sakura was saying, like, I would love to be on TV more, but I can't get into these rooms because I don't have anybody advocating for me. And Shida talked about that too, how when she's not there, it's hard for any of the lower level Japanese talent to get on TV.
Yeah.
it's an issue, but like, just give him a fucking win. Like, these guys are super talented. Like, on paper, the Callis family is super fucking stacked. Get better, Will Hobbs. He had a surgery this week, I think.
Yeah,
the patellar tendon, was that what it went?
I saw his tweet. He said, 5 a.m. gym session, 8 a.m. Physical therapy. He goes, you guys are fucked.
Right. Back. Think about this. He has a leg injury, and we all know from the man who runs the WWE right now that when you were out with a leg injury, your upper body quadruples in size.
It's true.
So Will Hobbs is going to look like, deep cut here, a Bobo from Double Dragon when he comes back. He's just
going to look like a whole industrial complex.
Right. He's just going to be, his traps are going to be up over his head.
He's not going to be able to put his arms down.
He's going to look like he's wearing Brian Cox's neck protector shoulder pads, but they're just going to be his muscles.
The old neck roll, brother.
But get better, Willie Hobbs. But Hobbs, Takeshita, Fletcher, Cobb in and out in this thing. It's killer. Ospreay is still technically in the family, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, it's like
a loose affiliation.
Any payoff there? Probably not.
Not only do we not know, they don't know.
And so this is where Mox is up on the ropes after the match because they win. And Takeshita does this weird saunter out to the ring.
Yes, great.
He jogs and he gets to the ring. And he's jogging with his arms wide open. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then he just grabs Mox around the waist and German suplexes him off the top rope.
Yeah.
I love Takeshita.
Me too,
and
man.
Reading that article today really bummed me out.
Right.
Claudio makes a save with a crowbar.
Yeah.
More Takeshita. It's going to lead to Takeshita Moxley. And
good.
Takeshita ain't fucking beating him.
No, not for the IWGP. But
that's like New Japan was like, hey, brother.
Right.
Which would be real.
It was real crazy.
Then we're starting to play fast and loose with what we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
I liked Adam Copeland making his entrance and just getting the shit beat out of him.
They stole his wedding ring?
Yeah.
What are they going to do with it? Spooky rituals?
Yeah, dude.
You think, or is Beth going to show up? It's probably too loyal to WWE, right? I don't know.
Ed was a fucking lifer there. It
right.
Didn't matter.
That's true.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Because here's the thing, I said this in the Discord, I like Beth. Beth is an incredible wrestler, but she can do some cool stuff. But all the respect in the world when she bled for an hour in that fucking Rumble because she had to do a spot at the end, and she was like, "I'm just going to sit here and fucking bleed."
Yeah, she's like, I have another 45 minutes in this match,
and she's like, her entire hair is red, and she's like, "Whatever, I got a fucking spot to do."
That was wild. I love
awesome.
That.
Awesome.
I loved when House of Black's beating down Edge.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
The corner?
No.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Well, all right. So Kyle O'Reilly runs out.
Yeah. This is my favorite part.
Just gets fucking annihilated.
Brody kills him. Brody fucking murdered him, dude.
He takes out Buddy. He takes out Malachi. You ain't getting through Brody.
No way, dude. No way.
Fucking hilarious.
No way.
Shit out of him.
Yeah. Some dude in the major group today, 65 for the chase. And as soon as I saw it, I went into the comments, and it was somebody had commented right then, just now, to claim it.
I need that.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it.
Sure.
But yeah, Kyle gets his fucking head kicked off by Malachi. And
Malachi was looking pretty good too. There, little definition, looking
good. He's got a pay-per-view singles match coming up.
Right,
man.
yeah.
I thought
you didn't have singles. Sorry.
Yeah. When they did that deal in the corner, chair on each side of Edge's head, and their finisher or whatever, Brody does a cannonball, and they run and hit the knees. It looked like they murdered this man.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I was like, here we go. This is the type of shit they need to be doing.
Right.
Because you look like you just took this man's life on television.
Absolutely.
Loved it. I really did.
Yep.
I didn't watch Bucks versus Daniels and Seidel. I only watched the post match.
Right. So because
I don't need to see
it is a little out of order, but we do get the Eddie recap from New Japan.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about
and so Eddie's hurt.
Yeah.
We find that out here. He posted the thing. He's in the brace in the wheelchair. He's hurt his leg, which we'll talk about when we get to Resurgence. Yeah. But so Eddie's out for a while. We don't know quite how long yet. So that stinks. FTR has a replacement in mind. Bucks versus CD and Seidel is exactly what you think it would be.
I fast forwarded.
I don't need it. Nobody needs it. The post match, they fire Christopher Daniels, which could be a defining moment in AEW history.
You know who's coming in now.
If I swear to God, if Curryman fucking comes into AEW, I'm going to send Tony Khan flowers. If Curryman shows up
Curryman's coming.
Do you for real? Do you think he's actually going to... Do you think there's a possibility?
Makes sense.
I will lose my goddamn mind.
Throw it on Rampage. Who gives a fuck?
I will lose my mind because I remember buying Curryman tapes like back in the day. Like, I will lose my... I fucking love Curryman. And I don't know if there's wrestling fans that watch AEW that, like, in the arena that are going to know what the Curryman... Because he did an Impact, didn't he?
Yeah. That's why I throw it on Rampage. Who gives a shit?
I swear to God.
Throw it in Ring of Honor.
An edible arrangement to Tony Khan's house if Curryman shows up in AEW.
Edibles.
Well, we'll talk about them later.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And then I did like Jungle Boy taking the sip out of the Woo Energy and dumping it all over Shivani.
Because it probably tasted like fucking ass.
He's like, here you go, Shivani, you stooge.
Yeah.
I like that segment.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Right.
And they fired Daniels. Like, we got to let you go.
Was Ric Flair's restaurant outburst last week? Did we talk about that? I mean, I don't want to talk about it. I'm trying to hammer out the time frame here. That Woo Energy must taste like fucking dirt, right?
I've never even seen it for sale.
No, I've never. But it's mushroom based, right?
Yeah.
There's a greater than 50% chance that it just tastes like cum.
Okay. Toni Storm has a promo.
Yes.
And I fucking adore her.
Her whole entourage is banned from ringside.
Because she says, Serena Deeb in Las Vegas, you're going to end up like most unlucky people, flat on your back with an ass in your face.
Yep.
Full of regret.
Wondering what happened to your dignity.
Yeah, she,
it's in my notes. I fucking
Toni
loved it.
Storm
She's killing
is
it,
the
dude.
fucking
killing
best. No matter...
What are you talking about, Brian?
Brian Alvarez doesn't... that video was funny.
It's hilarious.
I watched it and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Meltzer hit the high pitch about 5 times and...
Listen, clearly she's meant to be a bad guy because she's meant to be like the overbearing, obnoxious Hollywood starlet who's full of herself. But the fans decide.
Yeah.
That's how wrestling is sometimes. And she's, as far as I'm concerned, she's the babyface because you're never going to, they don't have anybody we talked about this last week. There's nobody in her general orbit right now that's going to get cheered over her.
No, there's nobody.
Especially not when she's doing this. Somebody has to step up and be as good as her, and who can?
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't know that there's anybody who can right now, who is available even. But yeah, just incredible. And also, shout out Mariah May for that. She looked so good in this thing. Fools wonderful. Who were like, "Oh, is this Tiffany Stratton?" I know some people are doing a bit. I can tell the fucking difference.
Who does? No,
there's a big difference.
Silly little boys, they just do silly little bits.
I'll tell you the biggest difference between Mariah May and Tiffany Stratton is I'm attracted to one and I'm not attracted to the other. So,
all right, up next,
Sebastian Wolf's AEW debut.
This was dumb.
We've been talking for weeks about how Hook's overexposed.
Yeah,
so we don't need to trace that back.
Listen, Chris Jericho stinks. I don't fucking get it, dude. I really don't. I don't understand. I get like, oh, he's leaning in and ha, guys. Jericho's rooting. No, this sucks.
So it doesn't, it's not,
get the fuck
it's
out.
Not working for me. And we said last week, if he went away for 3 months and came back with this, maybe I'd have a different opinion on it. The only thing that I like is when he said it's not the FTW, it means for the world championship now. And I was like, well, that's dumb. But then when he's announced and the match is announced as a for the world championship match, I think that's really clever. But I don't like anything else that he does. When it was announced at that, I was like, oh, that's why they did that. That's a funny little bit. But overall, I just don't care. I wanted him to go away. Yeah. If he went away for 3 months and came back with this, then maybe I'd be on board. But I have not had time to decompress from Chris Jericho. I have not had the time to miss him, right? Like you grow what the hell does that say? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. We haven't had that opportunity with Jericho. So even if he's doing something great, I'm still like, just leave me. Like if he showed up at my door now and was like, here's $100, I'd be like, thank you. Get off my fucking property. I haven't missed him. So why do I care what he's doing?
Yeah. And that's the thing with Jericho. And we talked about it.
Yeah.
He always knew when to go away.
And he's lost that ability.
And it's been over 5 years now and he hasn't gone away.
Absolutely.
But I don't get it. It's not funny. And no matter what people say, that motherfucker got rattled at the please retire chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was not happy about that. So chain it more at this
And Shibata,
they beat down Hook and Shibata makes a save.
Yeah, okay. Is he having a match or something against Jericho?
I guess it's going to be Hook and Shibata against Jericho Big Bill.
Oof, okay. Well, Shibata Big Bill will be fun.
They do run it backstage where they're interviewing Hook
the Hook promo,
Shibata. And Samoa Joe comes walking up to both, and he's like, y'all are supposed to be killers.
Right. You're falling in the same traps.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And I kind of loved it. And I'm like, ooh, that's a good group there.
I like when Shibata on his phone says that man is too large to be wearing a floral print or whatever.
And then what Renee says, she goes, it is kind of loud.
Yeah. It's very funny.
I love Renee.
Yeah.
She's perfect.
Yes.
Swerve, Brian Cage.
I will tell you that I think Swerve got as much out of Brian Cage as anybody fucking can.
Yeah, match was good, man.
Match was good. I have a very... a precise point of Brian Cage starting to turn around where I don't hate him. It's when he wrestled Hot Sauce at that show that Joe and I were at. I thought that match was really good. I told Hot Sauce that when I saw him.
Yep.
That I think like he really got a ton out of Cage in that match. And Cage has been on a decent run since then.
Working hard.
Right, working hard. I love that he's like, I went back and forth with WWE, but I decided to stay. You decided to stay because one company has a wellness policy and the other one doesn't. That's fucking obvious. But I think this is he got a ton out. He got the most out of Cage that maybe anybody could, which is kudos to Cage and kudos to Swerve for really doing that, and then double kudos to Swerve for fucking leaking, bro.
Yeah, so Swerve wins obviously.
Yeah,
gets jumped after the match by the patriarchy.
Yeah,
he gets a picture of him, his daughter, and his ex-wife or wife, whatever, smashed over his head, and he hit a gusher.
Leaking.
Next week, I'm afraid that he's going to decapitate Nick Wayne in the middle of the ring. He's going to Mortal Kombat rip his head and spine out and just drink the blood.
I like it.
Because I forget who it was a long time ago. I think it might have been Kurt from the Stink Sheet. He said, he goes, talking about when you brought it up before, Swerve, the Nick Wayne segment, he goes, I was actually kind of terrified when that happened. He's like, I looked at my TV, I saw Swerve and said, that man's the devil. Like, let's bring that Swerve, because that guy is a fucking nut and he's money.
Right.
Tony versus Harley Cameron. So, again, for me, better than I expected.
Right. So, I see, we talk about the Discord a bunch on here. But
if you'd like to join the Discord, soon to be named Network Discord, slide in the nose.
Shout out to other JB. I forgot to give that to you, but I will. They jumped in the Discord and I forgot, or in our DMs, and I forgot to send them the link. I'm just remembering, completely my fault. My bad, for real. Just saw it late at night and was like, I'll get it in the morning, and just completely fucking forgot. Wow, my bad. But anyway, I know. I apologize genuinely. But people are talking about in there a lot, and like, I don't know if, like, I think Harley is getting the benefit of being way better than we thought she could possibly be.
Absolutely. Because everything she's done on TV has fucking sucked. That's why.
Right. Because if you remember her QTV stuff and like her her doing the singing thing and the bat, she was annoying as shit. And she looks good. Her gear is good. Like she has those tools in place for sure. But when she gets in the ring, and again, it's with Tony. Who did she wrestle last week? She had a good match last week too. Who it was, but was it Mariah? She had a good match with Mariah. That's what, right. So let's temper expectations here. Arguably two of the best women, if not the two best women on the fucking roster right now, who are healthy and currently active in the company every week. Harley had two matches. Put her in the ring against Robin Renegade, and let's see what she pulls out. But she's definitely better than expected. She definitely is putting it together a lot more than I think anybody thought that she was going to, which is really interesting and cool to watch, you know? Mm-hmm. I just don't need her to do like her annoying shit side. Like, I think figure something else out. But yeah, so.
Shout out Tony Storm's gear.
Shout out Tony, everything about Tony Storm.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah. The Willow Mercedes Monet contract signing.
Yes.
Willow, I'll say this. Mercedes was
better. She was better.
She was better here.
Absolutely. I hope it's because she's getting comfortable.
I think Willow lapped her.
Yeah, it has every time.
In this
Absolutely.
promo.
Yep.
But Mercedes was better. Yeah. I will give her that.
So here's, I think, a big difference for that too, right? Is we're fans of Mercedes. I've been for a long time. Man. I know some people on the network aren't, but that's fine.
Yeah. Don't have to be a fan of everybody. You don't have to be a fan of everybody,
right? But I think even on a personal level, I think the reason why Willow is doing such a better job is I think even personally, I think if you were at a situation where you were out to dinner or met him at a party or whatever on a non-wrestling scale, I think Sasha would have a hard time connecting with people, and I think Willow would very easily talk to everybody at the fucking party.
Sure, and for AEW, Willow is just a pure white meat baby.
Absolutely.
Face.
So I think it's just Mercedes trying to figure out, has a little bit of a harder time figuring out her angle, because she's not this immediate, connected, extroverted, big smile, happy-go-lucky person.
It's like everybody knows you, everybody knows your name, but it doesn't feel familiar.
Right, and it's not character-wise. I'm not saying character, I'm not saying persona, any of that. I'm saying, like, actual personally, like, Willow is a magnetic personality. Sure. And Mercedes, maybe her character, but whatever, is a little more off-putting. So it's a little bit harder for her to find her angle.
Yeah.
This was definitely better than what she's been. But then Willow takes over, laps her, and dumps her through that fucking table.
Dude, fucking pulling out her inner Dave Bautista.
Absolutely.
Powerbombing through the table. Right. Oh, it was so
And then she said, give me what I want.
Yeah, and then she did the
thing. And she thumbs down.
Yeah, and then Saliva starts playing. Right. Willow fucking rules.
I hear Willow's going to be the next Dax, the Destroyer in
I'd watch.
Guardians of the Galaxy. So.
If I'm AEW, and I'm sure you probably saw the clip this week where she shows up at that wrestling club.
Yeah, of course.
Put that on TV.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And listen, I still got another week to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You got 5 shows apparently before the fucking pay-per-view.
Hope so.
Because you have Collision, Rampage, Dynamite, Collision, Rampage.
Yeah, sure.
You can fit that in.
I agree.
I think that's a big fucking deal.
Yes.
Especially if you're trying to build Willow as a star. Mm-hmm. And you show, like, look at these kids freaking out over Willow.
I love every time that wrestling club gets visitors. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's like, man, I wish I had that as a kid. Like, as a kid in school. It would have been so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But, like, show that.
I agree.
Show how big of a star and, like,
for sure.
how much the kids love her. And it's just stuff like that. I go, why aren't we doing that? Like, fuck.
Right. I still have no hope that she beats Mercedes. I hope she does. Fingers crossed. I want her to. I just don't see it happening.
I want her to.
We'll see.
But yeah, I'm kind of in the line of I don't.
Here's the thing.
I feel like you're letting a thing slip away.
Right. But here's the thing is, and I don't know if this works this way or not, but if you, we talked about Toni Storm, so there's nobody in her orbit right now that can match her. Willow. If you move Willow off of this to there, people aren't going to boo Willow against Toni Storm.
Won't boo Willow.
You might split the crowd, but you're not going to boo against. You're not going to get an overwhelming boo against Willow, and that could. I think that's Willow could be there. I think you could definitely do that.
Yep.
But I think Willow is the number one person who could be like, all right, let's move me into this main picture. I think Mercedes wins. I think we get her stat. I think then she has she probably then wrestles like Anna Jay 6 times and whatever. But Mercedes winning the belt, and again, I don't want her to, but you then get Mercedes, probably Sheeta, and everybody get thrown at her.
Sure.
So whatever. But
new matchups. I get that.
But I wouldn't ever take this belt off Willow. I think she's wonderful. She has the fucking Dr. Bomb.
Yeah.
The Dr. Bomb's fucking rule.
Yeah, Willow's amazing.
Yes.
Main event.
Yes.
Kazuchika Okada. Dax Harwood.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this quite a bit.
Right.
I loved Okada being a fucking dickhead.
He's the best at it. He is the best at it.
Kick the middle rope.
Yep.
Rainmaker. Oh,
he's the absolute best at it.
He gets it.
And listen, Dax,
remember, guys. I don't know if he's going to learn how to look at the hard cam.
Right. Bald FTR, Dax, the Axe, whatever. When they give him these singles matches, he fucking delivers, man. There's a couple of like the pinning combinations, he was clearly a little not as flexible as needed because he's a stockier dude.
Yeah,
I think he's in great shape. I'd love to be in the shape he's in. But I was like, all right, you're not quite there. Okada is definitely heads and shoulders a better wrestler than you. But he hung in there. He always does good in these singles matches, and I love the dickhead Okada stuff. He is so fucking good at it. He's cutting like the good little promos. Like he's really tailoring what he needs to do to get over with his crowd. And like, just fucking, who gives a shit? Do this dickish stuff. He's the best at it.
As Joe likes to say, hey guys, I think this Okada's a real big jerk.
He's a real big jerk.
At the end, you have they start beating down Dax.
Yeah.
Cash runs out.
Danielson, like a new man.
Brand new man. Weight lifted. Danielson runs out. They're fighting the Elite.
Yeah.
And then fucking Darby Allin.
He teased earlier they got the new fourth band to replace Eddie.
What in the
And I'm like, all right, who knows who it's going to be? It could be, is it going to be Claudio?
So here was my thought.
Who's it going to be? Yeah.
I was thinking, this would be a good spot because you've had him off TV for who knows why. Ricky Starks.
Right.
And I don't know if you saw Starks' interview this week too.
He's waiting. He's trying to go. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
We knew that was his thing. He was backstage with Cody at Mania like 2 years ago. That's where he wants to be.
This year.
Right. That's where he wants to be. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. I like Ricky. I think Ricky's a super talented guy. I don't know that AEW knows how to use him right. I don't know that WWE know how to use him right either.
You know what? You could, even if you want to put him in NXT or whatever,
they will.
He could be a fucking champ.
He'll be champ NXT. Yeah, pretty fucking quick. Absolutely.
But like, I miss him on TV.
Yeah, I think he's really great.
I
don't know that he
got
fits,
saddled with such lame shit.
I don't know that he fits in like the raw like 8-team AEW aspect of it. But I mean, was he named as a pillar? Was he one of the four? No,
but that's why it's like, he's been like an AEW guy or whatever from the start. Like. Have him there. Stick up.
I agree.
It, I
agree. But when Darby's music hit, I was like, whose music is this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, who? Why do I not know this music? And then Darby came out and I was like, oh yeah, that's Darby's music. I just never would have fathomed that this fucking maniac would be back on TV already.
His foot
and got hit by a bus
2 months ago.
Yeah, and he got hit by a bus.
Like what?
His nose is still bandaged.
Had to cancel his Mount Everest shit.
Right. And then he got hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Just in the face, apparently.
Yeah,
he got hit by a bus, and the only thing that got hurt was a broken nose.
Yeah, and it was back. Like, it just blows my mind. Yes. And then he cuts the promo afterwards. This wasn't on TV, where he's like, "Yeah, I'm not 100%.
Yeah,
I'm still limping.
Right,
and I got hit by a bus." He goes, and then Dax did a superplex, and one of the beams hit me in the head, so I think I got to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Like.
And then Dax made everybody cheer for Cash not having the charges fucking dropped. Hilarious.
You're damn right.
But again, with Darby, much like Chuck with his ankle injury, Anarchy in the Arena will work for him being able to work around his injuries. That. He could do what he needs to do. He can,
This could be a one-offer.
Yeah.
And then he can go away again if he wants.
He can do a couple of moves, do a big giant bump off of something stupid, and then that's it. That's all he needs to do.
That's all.
So.
But yeah, like
also
shocking.
I'm very interested in a Darby Allin versus Okada singles match.
Oh God, he'll die.
I don't know what would happen.
I know. Yeah, Darby dies.
So it'll be interesting.
He'll take a rainmaker, his fucking chest is gonna cave in.
I'm more interested in like him trying to do the fucking cannonball dive that he does, like the no look to the outside, and Okada just kicking him in the teeth as he comes down.
They're kind of sick though.
Like he gets the Kiyomiya treatment from Okada, just gets the shit kicked out of him.
Dude, I went back and rewatched that like last week.
It got clipped on Twitter again. It was remember when Kiyomiya kicked Okada in the face? I was like, I do.
Dude, that was like...
I could second close my eyes.
That was insane. I remember watching that at like 4 a.m, freaking the fuck out.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so before we move on...
That hurt Okada so bad that they never let that kid get his fucking win back.
No. No, he looked like a chump.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right.
What do we got? What are we doing?
So, our dear friend, Mr. Hayabusa, Ed, has a two-part question.
이제 이번 주에 에드 코디 질문입니다.
I don't know why his replays every time. It's the only one on the soundboard.
Because he has a two-part question.
That's true.
All right.
What's Ed got for us?
Dear sweet Ed, this week. Hey, guys, question for the show, and I hope it's okay that this is a two-part question.
Okay.
1, there was some talk of $5 wrestling in the Discord this week. Do you think the people who felt that $5 wrestling was exploited? I can't say this.
Exploitative.
Word. Sure, exploitative.
Exploitative.
To the mentally handicapped, have that same feeling when they watch GCW. And I'll say this: we answered your $5 wrestling question last week. Mm-hmm. Did you not? Did you not listen?
Yeah.
Ed, my dear sweet friend Ed. So, all right, let's talk about $5 wrestling.
No, let's talk about GCW.
Okay.
As it compares.
Because I was going to ask your thoughts about how you felt about $5 wrestling.
I never really watched it.
Okay.
I know what it is. I've seen clips of it. You've probably shown me more than I've ever watched on my own.
Oh, yeah. Raider Rock.
Yeah. So, like, I know the references. I know it. It wasn't my thing.
Okay.
I've never been a giant Colt guy. Like Colt Cabana dude. So it was never anything, and it wasn't because I was like, how dare they or whatever, you know what I mean? It just wasn't anything in my purview.
We have never talked about $5 wrestling on the show. Now it's 2 weeks in a row. We're talking about $5 wrestling.
Yeah. So does that make the show the $10 wrestling?
About -10.
Okay.
So do you have the same feeling when you watch GCW?
I think the GCW diehards don't actually realize what GCW is. I think we've talked about this in the show before. We've talked about it in personal life. I think the GCW diehards think they're seeing ECW.
Yeah, they want to restore the feeling.
And I'm not going to say that it's the same as $5 wrestling, but it's definitely closer to $5 wrestling than it is to ECW.
I feel like sometimes it's $5 wrestling. Like, so sometimes GCW is like $5 wrestling.
Yeah.
With people not getting the joke.
Sure. Right.
Listen, say what you want about GCW.
Is good stuff.
They're fucking big.
Right. They're doing their thing. Everywhere. Absolutely.
Like,
and Lauderdale's reaping the benefits. But like, I think part of it is because people genuinely think like this must have been what ECW was like. And it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It's not. No. But I'm closer to 50 than I am 20. GCW is closer to $5 wrestling than it is ECW. So
that's a perfect comparison. Yeah. So the second part of this question.
Yeah.
2 weeks from the time you record this, Ed will be. Oh, so I'm just going to speak as Ed because I'll get confused.
That's fine.
Hey guys, it's Ed. No, 2 weeks from the time we record this, I'll be at Colossal Con, Ohio. Mm-hmm. One of the things I'm super excited about is the arcade. As with every year, hoping that this is the year they bring back Music Gun Gun 2. It's a rhythm game where instead of dancing or playing a plastic guitar, you shoot things.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Video of gameplay attached. So I was just wondering, what are some favorite arcade games you handsome folks have? So I'm guessing you didn't watch the videos that they attached. So I think the one video.
I understand the concept.
The one video is from 13 years ago, and it has like 100 views.
Okay.
It's essentially like I felt like it was like DDR but with a gun.
Yeah. Right.
So what were some of your favorite arcade games?
So
give me three.
All right. So one, let me preface this by saying that the first time Michelle and I met, we were sitting on a couch together watching people play Dance Dance Revolution, but I don't remember that it was her I was talking to, and she remembers it was me.
Did you ever play DDR?
I have. I'm not coordinated enough, but I've done it.
I played once, and I was like, I'm
not for me.
I'm good, brother.
I loved Guitar Hero and all that kind of stuff, though.
Guitar Hero is fucking so much fun.
Arcade-wise, I love the Simpsons arcade.
Okay.
I love the X-Men arcade.
The 92 one?
Where Colossus goes, that one. And I'm a big fan. This is real dumb, but I would always run to play Police Trainer, where you shot, like, you did the targets and the balls, and like they would shoot it was all like timing, but I like shooting arcade games. And I would do double guns. I would pay for both sides and double gun when I played them. So
you're so awesome, dude. When are we going to Dave & Buster's, by the way?
I forgot it open. It's expensive as shit, but we can go.
We should go. We should. Fuck. I think they used to do an adult night.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
There's one in Kalahari, too. We've been to that one. It's not a Dave & Buster's, but it's like a big old arcade.
Just go to Dave & Buster's, eat some fucking chicken tenders, and play some games.
There you go.
You could drink beer.
All right.
So my three... X-Men.
Of course, it's amazing.
It's so much fucking fun. Cruising USA.
Okay.
I always always fucking loved it.
Do you remember the arcade Crazy Taxi?
Incredible.
So much fun.
That was so much fun. Also, do you remember, and this is my vivid, like, one of the things I like about my childhood, going to Top Dog.
Mm-hmm, of course.
Cashing in that fucking report card, getting those tokens. I remember they had, like, a Kawasaki, like, a street bike game, like a crotch rocket game. One was green, one was pink.
Yeah.
And you would get, oh my God, I'd fucking do anything to go play that again.
Yeah.
I don't know about now, but, and then my third, oh man, this is tough because I have a tie. Mm-hmm. It's okay. Depends on my mood. Ultimate MK3.
Okay.
I loved playing that in the arcade. Just fucking people up. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Send me to Jolly Time right now.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, why can't this is a fucking shooter? House of the Dead 2.
House of the Dead 2. House of the Dead games were real good,
too. Dude, they were so much fucking fun.
Good. Yeah. Movie, not good.
No, movie, literal trash.
Yeah. There's a picture, I don't know, of Police Trainer.
Okay.
If you remember it. It was target shooting and stuff. I just always I liked Hogan's Alley for the Nintendo when I was a kid, too. So, I always liked target shooting games for whatever reason.
I want to go to an arcade.
Yeah. You know,
if they have old games.
You know who has one of these, actually, that's never plugged in? Cosenza's.
What are they doing?
Pam has like 3 arcades out of her little and she just doesn't do anything with them. The one is it's the sit-in like speedboat racing game.
Okay.
I forget what that was called. Police Trainer and something else. Yeah.
So
just doesn't have them plugged in.
One of my old jobs in the break room, we had the arcade of Street Fighter 2.
Nice. Yeah.
And I won a tournament the one time, and I felt like the fucking man.
Nice.
Man, I used
to play a lot of Golden Tee in bars when I was a kid.
Nothing wrong with that, dude. Yeah. Man, I love arcades.
It's
like a thing of the past, but like,
for sure.
God damn, arcades are so. And yes. I'll tell you what, man, I love playing skee ball.
Yeah, skee ball's great too.
Absolutely. Fun as fuck.
Absolutely.
So all right. Thank you so much, Ed. Have fun at ColossalCon.
Yeah, buddy.
I'll text you. Hope you're okay.
Yeah. Be safe.
And
have fun.
Hopefully I get to see you in September.
We'll see.
So, all right, before we go to Japan, Terry Funk.
Ooh.
He's got a couple, 2-3 things to say to Mr. Dusty Rhodes.
All I can say is that that is a collision of giants, really.
God, I could have told Terry Funk before he got in there with that guy that sooner or later it's gonna be bad news. I mean, if anybody can tell him about anything, it's me, because Ole Anderson is as lowest skunk that I've ever met in my life. Don't be starting nothing with me.
Don't start nothing with me. I hate your damn guts. I hate your guts. But let me tell you something. As I fought you from Maine to Mexico, and you tried to break my back in Kansas, and I broke your arm in Florida, and we've got one thing in common, whether you know it or not, is that we've got that fire down below, and I have never asked you for anything, but it's my only way. And I ask you right now to take me as your partner in that match against those other guys. I know that you might think that I'll double-cross you, but I got something right here. And this right here means more to me than anything else I've had in my life. This is my father's watch, and it's a Rolex watch, and it's the only thing that I have of his. And I know money doesn't mean anything to you, but it's the only way. It's the only way. If you'll be my partner, I'll let you hold this watch in your hand right here. I'll let you take that watch as my father's, and my father's been gone a long time, and it's all I got from him, and you take that watch right there. You take it, and you hold it, and you let me be your partner, even though I hate your guts.
Let me tell you something. Don't you ever put your hands on me like that. Don't you ever put your hands on me like that. I'm going to take the watch, because I know it's your soul. I know it's your body, your blood, and your soul. And it's going to take somebody just as evil and as low down and low life as you to kick their butt. But I'll take your one. You something on me, baby. Let me do something. Because I will kick your butt too.
Well, I know for a fact what the late Dory Funk Sr. meant to Terry Funk. Let's go to the ring.
All right, hey,
we're back.
We're here in Japan.
We did it.
We're here.
Short trip, long trip. Thank you for your patience.
There's a trip, and then there's a trip back to the States, and then a trip back to Japan.
Yes.
All right, I watched. Let's see, 1, 2.
What are we starting?
Stuff from 4 different companies.
1.
You watched 3. 2. Unless you're hiding something.
2.
Oh yeah, 2. That's right. My fault.
New Japan and DDT. That's all I watched.
So let's start with DDT.
Okay.
The King of DDT
You
second
watched from
round.
4 promotions?
No, 3.
Oh, 3. Okay.
I haven't. I fucked up.
Okay, you don't count. That's fine. It's fine. All right.
Stop.
Listen, you'll learn eventually.
I won't. King of DDT.
Yes.
Second round
Round
matchup.
2.
This is when I saw this, I said, "Hey, this is the only matchup I think I want to see in this right now."
Yeah.
Mr. Kazusada Higuchi going up against Shuji Ishikawa.
Yes. Big Japan, DDT, Big Japan, All Japan, former Triple Crown holder. Yes.
Brother.
Yeah.
These are just 2 men.
This is
doing some man shit.
Beef on the hoof. Just
so this show's right up Ed's alley because it's a one-camera, no commentary.
Yep, no commentary, right?
His favorite. They proceed for about 13, 14 minutes to beat the tar out of each other.
These are men doing man things.
Some man shit.
These are big boys. These are big boys. We talked about Higuchi last week. Higuchi's already my king of DDT. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. He's the fucking dude. And Ishikawa rules. I was excited because I didn't watch the match because I forgot, but he challenged Ninja Mac and Noah to like the hardcore title or whatever, I think. Oh. But I think he came out after that Alpha Wolf match.
Oh, okay.
All those weeks ago. But anyway, so Shuji Ishikawa does a...
Like him in his red leather pants.
Yeah, he pulls, at one point, Higuchi half out of the ring, like over the apron. He's hanging like his head and like chest outside the apron and gives a knee lift that I was like, that's awfully disgusting.
Yep. Sounded gross.
And then gives like 30 other ones while they're in the ring.
Yeah.
They have a headbutt trade-off where they're just like, who's going to shoot headbutt each other for real? And I was like, you guys can't afford to have your brains out.
I'm happy shoot headbutts are making a comeback.
Sure. Why not?
You know, Masaki Tamiya did one a couple weeks ago.
He busted himself open.
Yeah.
It's been too long since someone had their brain removed.
Listen, that was like 2016.
That's true.
Get over it.
Right.
8 years now.
Then Ishikawa throws a killer Saito suplex out of nowhere. It was fucking great. It was insane.
Yeah.
I love this match. This is my kind of wrestling.
Yeah.
This should be your kind of wrestling. Your listeners, everyone's kind of wrestling. Go watch this match and this match alone. I'm sure that there are probably other decent stuff on the show. I don't care.
This was a one-shotter for me.
This is all you need.
Yeah.
Just watch this and be like, all right, DDT's pretty fucking cool, isn't it? Because DDT's really fucking cool.
DDT rocks.
And Higuchi he's the king of DDT in my heart.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
They need to put the KOD title back on him. He needs to beat Yuki Ueno.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm fine with that.
He needs to. Just go on a fucking crazy run again.
You think is Ishikawa going to still play like freelancer? Is he going to land here because he was trained in DDT?
I'd probably just do the freelance deal. Why not?
I'd keep him around, but I want to see him versus Yuji Hino.
Oh man!
Let's get all the big boys in while Ishikawa's there.
Remember those Hino matches?
Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, if you just want to watch 2 big dudes just smack the shit out of each other for about 15 minutes.
Right. There's chop trades, there's headbutt trades, there's knee lifts.
Dude, Higuchi wins with a fucking shoulder tackle.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, because you would lose to a shoulder tackle, too, if you spent the previous 15 minutes getting punched in the face for real.
Absolutely.
So, it works. It's called psychology.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Watch that. It's from round 2 of King of DDT.
So fucking good.
Buy Wrestle Universe just for this. There's other stuff. There's other stuff on Wrestle Universe you should watch, but start with this.
Tokyo Joshi Pro is killing it. And Marigold's coming now, too. Right. So, New Japan Pro Wrestling. So we'll talk about the stuff that did happen in Japan first. So okay. Best of the Super Juniors has started. Lineup's not exactly lighting my world on fire.
No.
As it has previous years.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk.
I watched 4 matches.
I watched 2. What'd you watch from night 1?
So, No Taguchi is a bit of a downer, but he is doing better. Yep. He did say he's getting better. He's been training and whatnot. So get well, my friend. I watched Kushida versus Takahashi versus Hiromu. You didn't watch Kushida Hiromu?
Nope.
Oh, it was really good. Kushida's having apparently a very good tournament.
That's what I've heard.
People are saying, he's looking like old Kushida. This is a little more ground-based, sort of, because like both these guys, and they're not as, Hiromu wasn't the greatest high flyer anyway, and, he
was a reckless guy.
Right, and Kushida's an older guy at this point.
Yeah, sure.
But really good, solid match, felt like home. Like Kushida having a good, solid match, against Hiromu in New Japan proper, it just felt right, because we haven't seen Kushida a ton.
Like, while watching this match, did Bon Jovi start playing in your head?
Yes, right. Absolutely. Hiromu hasn't won a match in 2024 in New Japan, which they talk about on here, which is interesting. He's like, they're doing like the slump angle, I guess. I liked it. Kushida taps Hiromu. It was gross. It's a much more ground-based, not that they don't do some like bigger stuff, but it was a sort of ground-based, trading off pins, reversals sort of match. I liked it. I was excited about it. I'm surprised that you didn't watch that.
No.
The other thing that I watched was Teton versus El Desperado.
I bet your sweet ass I watched this.
All right.
Boy, oh boy. So Teton, he was a finalist last year.
Yes.
Lost to Master Wato.
Standout guy that we didn't know a ton of, was a pretty big standout in the last year, 2 years.
Yeah,
maybe he's been around. I think this is the third. Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's a member of LIJ. Lost to Master Wato in the finals last year. Master Wato's obviously hurt this year. I think torn ACL. Which,
what a shame.
Come on, you're not down with the way of the Wato.
Listen, that again.
You're not hot-o for Wato.
Of course, I don't want him hurt in any way.
I was saying, okay, Jim.
He is a member of Team 6 or 9.
It's true,
but I wouldn't be watching his matches. Is what I'm saying. So.
I thought this was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was very
main
good.
Event of the first night of Best of Super Juniors. You always want to have a banger.
Yeah.
T-Tan does get the win over Despy.
Yes. Red Despy. Despy's rocking the red look this year.
Did you see what Storm Collectibles is doing?
Are they doing another variant of his?
It's red.
Oh, really? They're doing it. He's getting another one already? That's crazy. Did the first one sell that well?
No. You can still buy them on the inside.
Weird.
I need to order that eventually.
Yeah.
I'm still like...
With like the red even underneath too, like the red skull on his mouth too, huh? That's cool.
I know. Part of me is like, I just want to wait for that one then. But I don't know.
Whatever one drops on sale really, really low.
They're on sale right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was great. The double stomp Teton hits from the top rope.
Yeah.
I thought Despy's guts were going to just blow out of his butt.
His hair's getting really long, too.
I know. I don't like your fucking hair.
He doesn't look as spooky.
Yeah. But I really like this match.
Spooky. This match is very good.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Teton's
really good.
Dude.
Teton's a good dude.
Yeah.
For sure.
What'd you watch from night 2?
I watched Taji Ishimori versus Dragon Dia.
I did not watch this.
This was sub 5 minutes.
Okay.
And it is a banger.
Yeah?
Yeah. Dragon Dia from Dragon Gate comes out with like Ultimate Dragon Kid mask. He doesn't wear it, but he comes around his neck. I don't know if he ever wore it. Ishimori looks great. He's back to being a little jacked up Bone Soldier.
I hope he stays healthy.
Again, it's under 5 minutes. So I was like, I'll watch another 5-minute match. Sure. I haven't seen Ishimori in a while, and I want to see what Dragon Dia is doing, because I don't remember. I think he replaced Taguchi.
He did.
Because, and then who replaced Yo or Sho?
Don't know.
Kushida.
Oh,
Kushida's replacement for Yo or Sho, whichever one's hurt there. But anyway,
I think it's Yo.
I think this was super fast moving. I think Dragon Dia was super impressive in this match. Very Torimon style, so it made me happy. He hits an Asai moonsault. He's, doing all that shit. Solid Torimon. Ishimori cheats a bunch and then hits with a nut shot at the end to win. But this was enough for me to keep an eye on what Dragon Dia is doing and see some of his other stuff, because it's under 5 minutes, super fast paced stuff. And like I said, he's a Torimon guy. I love.
It's right up your
so
alley.
like, you can see the Dragon Kid in him, although he's not a small Dragon Kid, a tiny little guy.
Yeah.
But I like Dragon Dia a lot here. So Ishimori ends up with 4 points with this win. But yeah, this was a cool little sub 5 minute match. So if you haven't watched yet and you were planning on it, I'd say put this one on, because it's sub 5 minutes. Come on.
Sure.
And Ishimori, who last year was hurt.
He got hurt in the tournament.
And then we saw him come back, and he was definitely slower and sort of struggling.
Sure.
Dude's back.
Good.
Dude's back.
That's good.
So,
I always liked Ishimori.
Me too. Who was also, he was a Torimon or a Dragon Gate guy too, wasn't he? Maybe not.
No, I think he was a Noah guy.
Was he a Noah guy? I know a guy. And then the other thing that I watched was El Desperado, of course. The dude you're going to watch in this tournament. The dude is a fucking king. Versus the new look Kosai Fujita, my friend.
The young Japanese punk.
Yep.
He's calling himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's got new pants that are very Tajiri inspired, I feel.
It's going to take me a bit.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Get them thighs out, boy.
It definitely separates him from some of the other guys that are out there in his sort of generation, because he is sort of left behind a little bit from the Reiwa Musketeers. He's a little younger, but he debuted before them.
Sabres would have said, "Fuck it, you're coming with me."
Right. But I like Kosai a lot. He's my buddy. Even though I led him astray on how to write his letters, so hopefully he figured his J's out. I didn't do it on purpose. But this is really cool. This was a technical reversing masterpiece, especially down the stretch.
Yeah, I watched this as well.
And a lot of people talking about this sort of being Fujita's coming out as like he's ready to go. I think
so.
He looks really good here.
And again, like, he's always been good. He's fun.
Right.
And you do look who he's in the ring with. It's Despy. Despy can have good matches with anybody.
And I think
he's proved that.
When we've talked about him in the past, we've said, like, he's really good. He just needs to find his personality. And maybe, hopefully, that's what he's doing here.
I think so. El Desperado, he wins with
he's the guy.
The stretch muffler.
Yeah, right. Fucking
where he
gross.
just grabs the arm. Oh, my God.
But the crowd is
fucking good.
A lot behind Fujita.
Because this was at Korakuen, wasn't it? I believe it was Korakuen. I love this. El Desperado fucking rules.
Yeah,
and
Despy's awesome.
I always get mad because I'm like, I want more for him. I don't know. He
had that short title run at the beginning of the year.
He's never won the best of Super Juniors.
They never pulled the trigger.
I don't know if he's a freelance guy. It's like a lot of confusion on if he's freelance or not.
He had such a short run with that title at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. People should go fucking watch this, though.
Who's the juniors champion now?
That's a great question. Hold on. I will find that out for you, sir.
Oops.
Show.
Was it Show?
That's why I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's bad.
Guy sucks ass.
Yeah, good tag team.
Oh my God, this list of champions ain't great.
Yeah.
I didn't watch anything else from night. I didn't watch a thing from night 3.
Nope.
I didn't watch a thing from night 4, which was today.
Yeah. Night 3 looked dumb. I looked
at the matches. I was like, nah. Did you say you watched 5?
No, that was it.
Oh, I thought
4 matches.
Oh, okay. I know. I think they started trimming because the first couple shows was all tournament matches. Now it's like half.
Yeah.
I do know. So right now, Kushida has 6 points.
Yeah, I think him and Ishimori are at the top of the one.
Ishimori has 6 points too.
Yeah.
So they're both in B block. So B block was this morning. So Kushida has 6, Akira has 2, Dribble Maloney has 2, Dookie has 2, Show 4, Ninja Mac 4, Hiromu 2, Dragon Dia 0.
Yeah.
Ishimori 6, Robert Eagles 2.
Mm.
Yeah. If something's cool, I'll watch.
Yeah, right. That's we're never gonna.
It leaves a lot to be desired from the past couple years.
Right. We're not much like New Japan. We just don't hold the Super Juniors in that higher regard.
Yeah.
Partially because New Japan doesn't, so they're not doing a ton with them. But if a match is good, doesn't matter. Well, who's in it? But
absolutely.
But if you're looking for a primer, if you don't know, just watch a Desperado match.
Yeah. Agreed. So on Saturday, New Japan ran in California.
Okay.
They ran Resurgence.
Yes.
I have 3 matches to talk about.
Okay. I watched this whole show, but we do not need to talk about it.
No.
I will say big time shout out to Silverthorne, my buddy.
Yeah.
Our pal.
Yes.
For hanging out in the Discord.
Yeah.
Watching this show. I wasn't planning on staying up to watch it, and then I ended up doing it.
Yeah, they were good at it.
And I had a great time hanging out. Now
you know how I felt all through the G1 with Dwicky.
Right. So big shout. I was there for a lot of those too, not all of them. But big shout out to Silverthorne. That was a fucking blast. So thank you for that, even though you tapped out at the end. But that's okay. I get it. Yeah. You're somewher in Canada land.
Who came and swooped you back up, brother?
That's right. Absolutely.
It was me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
I have the last 3 matches to talk about. That's really it.
Let's see. Well, so yeah, we get the Phantasmo and Hikuleo re-win the tag belts in a please don't answer phone calls from Stamford, Connecticut Hikuleo title match. That's what that is. 100%
and
that's what that is.
it's strong titles too, isn't it?
Right.
Oh, God.
So that happens.
Poor TMDK.
I thought Stephanie Vaquer, Alex Windsor was good. Mm-hmm. I said I wonder if AEW is interested in Windsor because that's Ospreay's partner.
Natural connection. Yeah.
And I think she's been looking pretty good. Mm-hmm. Vaquer is someone that has really impressed us lately. I think when you give her the time to sit down and watch her, you realize how good she actually is.
Yeah.
God damn it! I don't need to see David Finlay wrestle fucking ever.
Nope.
Zack Sabre deserves more than wrestling Tanahashi in 2024.
Uh-huh.
All right, so we're so
I saw the last 3.
That's Shingo. That's
yeah. So
okay,
for the never open.
I thought
weight,
Cobb Lance Archer was a lot of fun, but there's nothing to talk about. It was just a lot of fun. It opens with a big boy standing Spanish fly, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, where Cobb almost spiked himself.
Yeah, I like seeing Archer wrestle these matches. Not much to talk about, but I like seeing those boys do their thing there. But yes, Shingo versus Yuya Uemura.
Yes,
for the never open weight title.
I liked the last 10 minutes of this.
Yeah.
The first part I thought was dragging, and I was sitting there and I'm watching. I'm going, "You ain't it,
nah,
just nope, not it." But the last 10 minutes, I go, "Okay, there's showing the fire.
Yeah,
I like it." Shingo is a bad motherfucker.
Absolutely.
I love that Shingo holds this never open weight title. Shingo obviously wins. Yuya has some work.
Yuya is going to be a very talented tag team wrestler.
I think they could elevate Yuya to he's KOPW champ now, which means nothing.
It means nothing.
Maybe that new global title eventually he could win.
Maybe.
He's never going to be a heavyweight champ.
I don't think he's bad, but I think you get him in a hot tag team and you can make something out of him.
That's funny. New Japan and hot tag team.
Yep.
Shingo fucking rules.
It's got to happen eventually. Shingo does rule.
Dude, the end sequence, Shingo hitting these fucking pumping bombers.
Yep. Yuya has a nice frog splash.
Yeah.
His frog splash was pretty.
Yuya, on the one made in Japan, just got dumped on his fucking head.
Did.
And it was, then afterwards, Ishii comes out and challenges Shingo.
Okay.
I said, I don't want to text you. I'm like, okay.
All right.
You're going to give me that? I'm not going to be mad.
I imagine Shingo's going to retain, but maybe not because that is Ishii's rightful belt. Oh, it's his. God damn it.
Big Tom get a fucking another run.
Yeah, Shingo's in an odd position in New Japan because a lot of the weight of this company is on his shoulders, even though he's not champ. He's never champ. Yeah. But he is arguably the best wrestler on the roster right now.
Yeah.
Because he's not 4 years ago, if I can get a time machine and get Naito, but and Naito's still good, but Naito's old.
Naito's
right. He's fading.
Naito needs a dance partner.
Yeah. But Shingo is still consistent and killer and wrestles a great hard hitting style and is over with the crowd.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weight on his shoulders for what's going to be good and what's not. As shown by this match, ends up 3 down from the top.
Yeah.
When it's him wrestling essentially a nobody. Sorry, Yuya, but it's what it is.
So, for the New Japan Strong title.
Yes.
The challenger, Gabe Kidd.
Yeah.
The champion, Eddie Kingston.
Yes. No rope, last man standing match.
This was violent.
I saw people online not liking this. And I'm like, what is your problem?
Why?
I understand. I, too, was frustrated by the fact that either Gabe Kidd doesn't know what a standing 10 count is, or the ref doesn't know.
Well, yeah, Gabe Kidd thinks wrestling's real.
Right,
so.
because he's like, it's the 9 count, and he's not trying to get up, and I'm like, dickhead, you gotta stand up.
He doesn't know, and like, he doesn't know you need to do that in wrestling.
So like, Eddie had to keep like pulling the ref away, or like there was a lot of like, don't complete the count, kind of thing. And like some of it worked for a storyline, like where like, Eddie's going to get in over his head because he's not letting, he's wanting to beat up Gabe more instead of like letting him stay knocked out. Yeah. But there was instances where Gabe and Eddie, to a point, I was like, guys, you're supposed to be standing up already. Like this is the last man standing, not like an I quit match or whatever. Like you got to stand up at 9 or it's not fucking happening. But Eddie bleeds fucking immediately in this match.
Yep. Gabe Kidd bleeds
2 minutes after.
Yeah. They're just throwing trash cans at each other.
Yeah. Eddie tries to kill him with a chain.
Yeah. Oh my God. When Eddie handcuffs them together at the end.
Yeah.
And they're just beating the shit out of each
Eddie
other.
put up a bunch of really good pictures on Instagram.
He
from
did.
The match.
They
look really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eddie uses a garbage can, then beats himself over the head, and then sells it like Terry Funk. So,
which, of course, the master Ian Riccoboni on commentary mentions Terry Funk.
Absolutely.
Much better than his partner on commentary that night.
Yeah. Dude, so terrible. Yep. just awful. Riccoboni's so good.
Yep.
And makes it's hard to keep up with Ian because he's so good. But that other person on commentary is trash and just can't.
Yep.
Lost in the lights constantly. Just like not just every. Just go back and listen. I don't want to keep burying the same fucking person, right? But just they're no good.
She stinks.
But at one point when they're handcuffed together, doesn't Eddie say to Gabe Kidd, "Show me that heart, you pussy"?
Yeah. Okay. He sure does.
All right, good.
And they're beating the shit out of each other.
This is
handcuffed together, just
crazy
whooping
violent.
each other's asses.
Crazy violent.
And then, of course, the big spot at the end. Table set up, guardrail, and the apron.
Yep.
Gabe Kidd hits the suplex off the apron. Eddie's leg just like wraps around the guardrail. And I knew instantly, I'm like, oh, he's hurt. Because you're not hurt if you don't sell it like he did. Normally, like that happens, you just lay there, he instantly starts grabbing at his knee.
And they iced him down.
Yeah, I'm going, oh, he's hurt. Like, it sucks, but he's fucking
He
hurt.
did a lot. So he has a broken leg. He did a lot after that in this match.
Yeah, well, this is the end of the match.
Yeah.
Gabe wins.
Yep.
We knew it was coming anyway.
It was coming, right.
Well deserved.
Absolutely.
Gabe
Absolutely.
Kidd fucking, I mean,
Did you see him on that talk show?
It was on the news. It was great.
Yeah, hilarious.
It was fucking great.
And he goes after the weather guy.
He's like, WWE's if you like theater, AEW's if you're just a fat dude who doesn't talk to women.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
He was great on it, and they should have him back on tomorrow. It'd be hilarious. Right. Gabe Kidd, kudos.
Absolutely.
Man.
Well deserved.
You know, it's one of those where I'm like, it's not Eddie carrying him to a good match. It's both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, right. This is we've seen this out of them before.
Gabe Kidd's really like coming to his own.
So afterwards, the Bucks get in.
Well, yeah. So Eddie rolls into the ring. You see Jack Perry coming out on the ramp. Bucks slide in, beat the shit out of Eddie.
Yeah, and they're like, 5 years or whatever.
Yeah,
and they don't get that big of a reaction, but they're there.
Yeah, you know, this was in Ontario, California.
Yeah,
they cut like like there's a reason why we left this place. Through pores.
Yeah, the reason why you left New Japan was because the crowd didn't want you there anymore.
I did chuckle at the one Buck when he's like on the mic stomping Eddie, and he's like, great, now I get to kick your ass at 2 promotions. Yeah. It's like, all right, that was fun. But yes, Eddie, heal up, my man.
So, question for you. Do you think, because like we talked about earlier, like this, it changes the main event of the pay-per-view because they're supposed to beat it.
Yeah. Do
you think TK says, if you're in a certain place on the card, people got to stop doing these outside AEW stuff?
I think so. That's tough because it's supposed to be a partnership. At the same time, you're paying Eddie,
right?
You know, and I'm sure New Japan pays him per appearance or whatever too. I think this is going to change some things.
Because Eddie's out for a couple months, right? It changes the pay-per-view.
Eddie was in the main event of the pay-per-view.
Main event of the pay-per-view.
Gone.
And Eddie is one of the most beloved people we talk about on the show. Like, Eddie gets those pops, right?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things in wrestling is hearing an arena pop for Eddie still. But, like, and we talked about, like, him when he had the Triple Crown. It's hard because... Like, well, he's Ring of Honor champion, but he's not in Ring of Honor. Well, because he's in the main event programs on AEW. He has been since like the end of last year with the Continental Crown. Yeah. So like, it's hard to put him anywhere else when he's so important to this show. You can't have him working 2-3 things, and then he starts losing the belts. And that's fine. He's losing the belts to the right fucking people, right? None of these were like, oh, we got to get this belt off of Eddie. It's like, no, these are logical progressions of the storylines.
Yeah.
But I think it would probably be in Tony's best interest to start limiting a little bit and, like saying like, listen, guys, I know you want to, maybe Tony gives them some bonuses for not, but you can't risk losing a guy like Eddie like they're going to for conceivably the whole summer. We don't know for sure, but like it's going to be months.
Here's the thing. Mox has slowed it down.
Right.
Because if you remember, that motherfucker was doing death matches every weekend. He did
a death match against Desperado in Detroit for no reason.
Well, that was on a New
Chicago
show.
Yeah, it was, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. But like, so he's slowed it down, obviously.
Right.
I know he did that one against Gringo Loco, but so the problem is, I think Tony's going to look at this and he's going to go, guys, if you're doing this stuff, you can't be taking risks like that.
Right.
Because that's a risky spot.
Right. It is. And, and Eddie's champ, you can't half-ass it. Eddie's never going to half-ass it anyway.
No, of course not.
But there is still an elevated obligation when you're champion to really deliver.
Especially,
and he also was sort of had to make Gabe Kidd a little bit here.
Yeah.
I mean, Gabe Kidd was already on the rise up, but like you have to have, if Gabe Kidd's going to win, which is his first singles title, right?
Is, yeah.
You gotta fucking go balls to the wall for him.
Especially like because this has been like a blood feud,
right?
But like that finish, I do think Tony's going to say, "Hey guys,
right?
Can't be doing.
Be
that.
Smarter."
Yeah, like you can be violent. You everything else in that match was perfectly fine.
Right.
I'm paying. Like you can't.
Be smarter about it, right?
You know,
absolutely.
Like,
and Darby Allin looked both ways before he crossed the fucking street.
Darby, yeah, like look at Darby wasn't on the Indies doing death matches or anything. Like he's fucking nuts.
Right.
But like it does come down to that. Like I'm paying you.
You got to be smarter.
I get this as a partnership. Yeah. I get you're loving what you do.
Right.
You can't do shit like this though, because now you're out of a main event 3 days after like you're put into the big storyline we have going.
Right.
Now you're out.
Right.
And it sucks.
And so that's what do you think the story was going to be? Because so thankfully they had the thing with the Bucks, which clearly was already going to happen, right? But you just get Eddie coming out all bandaged up and fighting him anyway if he's not actually hurt, right? But like, so they thankfully had the thing where the Bucks jump him after the match to write him off and, say like storyline wise, like we know his leg's broken, but like, we know he's hurt, but like, but the Bucks think storyline wise, the Bucks beat him up and took him out, right? So that's there as like a safety net, but that was already going to be there no matter what, and it was just going to be like a Eddie like fighting back from underneath or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you lose a main eventer, like it's a big deal.
That's a big deal,
and you lose one of your top guys for an entire summer, where all your biggest shows are.
Yeah, because I mean, considerably Eddie ain't going to work Wembley.
No,
see, I don't know.
When is that?
End of August.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna work Wembley.
That would be the absolute miracle earliest, I think.
Yeah,
but who knows?
I just don't see it.
Nah, I think it's gonna be after that.
Yeah,
so.
And it's like that sucks.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, he's not working Double or Nothing. Like that sucks. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just and I'm not fucking safety police at all. But when it if I'm Tony Khan, my viewpoint is. You can't be doing shit like that.
Right.
I get it. Again, the violence was fucking great, but like,
well, and
there's a line,
and anything can happen, right? Darby's foot was something that was out of nowhere.
But
Adam Cole's ankle was so you're getting right, but you're going to get hurt no matter like wrestling. The chance of getting hurt in wrestling is there no matter what.
So those things are freak accidents,
right? But it is or an accident with a freak, but it is like what you're saying, like that spot does add 50% chance of you getting hurt. Yeah. So don't do those.
Yeah, just don't do that.
Like you're already if you let's say stomp on a punch and you tear your ACL. Shit happens. But like this was you did something you knew was risky and you're paying for it.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't do those.
Like we couldn't just set up a table on the outside and did it off the apron.
Right.
It
is what it is. I get why you want to deliver.
1,000%.
I understand.
And
when I say you got to be smarter, I'm not saying that they're stupid. No. Or that whatever. I'm not safety policing anything either. But you guys.
I'm looking at it from Tony Khan's perspective.
Right. You have to realize, especially a guy like Eddie, who is going to give his all no matter what.
Sure.
But like you are so important to what AEW is doing. That we gotta sort of wrap you in a little bit of bubble wrap because you're too important not to have around.
Yeah, it sucks.
Because I love Darby, right? And I didn't always feel that way, but I love Darby and I love that he's a fucking maniac. He doesn't bring what Eddie brings to this feud. That's just what it is. He brings a different thing.
He brings something different.
But he doesn't. But he's not going to cut the promo that Eddie will cut to put asses in seats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's not going to light anybody on fire.
Yeah. What does everybody remember for the first Anarchy in the Arena? The view of Eddie looking like a fucking zombie covered in blood, carrying a gas can.
Yes. So
that was also another thing that Claudio said in his why he doesn't want Daniels to do it. He goes, "You're just turning around and being friends with Eddie Kingston."
Yeah.
He's like, I know he's a changed guy or whatever, but I know Eddie better than anybody, and I know he could change quick.
I was talking to Joe. I don't think you'll have a problem with me saying this, but I was talking to him about it because Joe doesn't keep track of New Japan or whatever. Yeah. So I was talking to him just through text, and I was like, "What do you think? What's the storyline with Eddie?" Because I didn't know Eddie was actually hurt. We hadn't heard anything, and I was like, "What are they going to do?" And Joe was like, "I'll say if whatever." But he said he goes, "Claudio's going to take the spot." And then Eddie's going to say, fuck that, and come back and say, no, this is my spot. You don't get to have it.
Okay.
And then it came out that Eddie's actually hurt. So we didn't know. We weren't sure. So we were just talking about it because I was like, what do you do? Because again, this Young Bucks thing was going to happen whether he was hurt or not. But they weren't trying to take Eddie out. They weren't going to replace Eddie. It was just going to be like Eddie was just going to have his head wrapped like a fucking mummy before going into the match or whatever.
Yeah, and you know what? Somebody else, I forget. I wish I could find it. They showed something similar that happened to another wrestler in kind of the same spot. Same thing happened to the fucking leg. Like the leg wraps around a guardrail, man. Yep. You're going to get fucking hurt. It's just
the good thing is, Eddie, if you're listening, or if anybody can get a message to him, there's a guy named Paul who had a leg injury.
It's true.
And he came back with, I know you got the Cesar Bononi training videos and you're looking good and those training videos are a hit.
What's up the dosage of chicken and rice?
I'm telling you, is that your job with a leg injury is to come back with an upper body.
That's fact.
Quadruple the size, if you will.
I agree. All right, main event from this show was for the IWGP Heavyweight title.
Yeah.
The teacher versus the student.
Yes.
Mr. John Moxley. Going up against the shooter, Shota Umino.
Yes.
I love this.
Me too. I want to preface something, and I need your help getting your opinion on this for me, because this isn't as well received online as I felt it was.
I don't know why.
And so here's the thing. When I was watching this show, I was like, okay, this show's going to be over at this time. This is how wrestling works. Yeah. This is late. It's going to be over at this time. I want to go to bed. I'm gonna take a risk and drop 30 milligrams of something.
Oh boy!
And the show went on longer than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, 4 hours.
Right. So when it rolled past the top of the hour at 2:00, I was like, "Oh, I'm in trouble." And I watched this match, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah. And
I was like, "Is it because I was real happy?" Or is it because it was real fucking good? Because to me, this is a 5-star match for me. Legit. I loved this match. I loved the story. I thought this was the best shooter has looked. I thought Mox looked great. We both talked last week how Mox was going to give a little bit extra to his kid.
Of course.
That's his son.
Yep.
That's his fucking son.
Renee would have no other way.
Yeah. I thought Shooter was going to win at one point. I was completely convinced that Shooter was walking out of this as fucking champion. If this isn't 5 stars, it's pretty damn close. I fucking loved it. I really loved it. So,
and it's good because you have the backstory for it.
Yeah.
You remember watching the G1 when Mox took Shooter under his wing,
Mm-hmm.
The one Chicago show when I think it was somebody had an open challenge, and I remember it goes to the screen and it's like Mox is like, "Come on, Shooter, get up and go get him." And Shooter go, and Shooter's match with Ospreay was a real big one. His match with Zack Sabre Jr. He's definitely like, I think for me,
right.
I think, and I said this to you Saturday night. Yeah. I was like, I think he's surpassed Tsuji for me.
Right. Shooter's been my favorite from the jump, mostly because of his association to Moxley. I think. Right. I love the blonde haircut.
Yeah.
I think he's looking like Buddy Landell.
I love him attacking Mox before the bell rang. This is why. This is what Mox would want you to do.
Right, exactly.
I love during the match, he throws a knee bar. Mox yells, "Where the fuck did you learn a knee bar?" That was hilarious. When he goes to do the power, the elbows or whatever, and Mox just looks at him and just goes, "You piece of shit." Yeah. I thought it was so fucking cool.
I love their relationship.
Showing, fire, flipping Moxley off, it was so much fucking fun.
I genuinely loved it. I was completely bought in, and just ready to go. And again, it's a Mox love fest on this show. Yeah. I listened to Final Wrestling Place this week, when they were talking about the Shield.
Yep.
And the breakup and everything. And they're like, "Who was your Shield guy?" And I was like, fucking none of them. I'm listening. I'm like, I didn't like any of those. I didn't like the Shield was fine, but I guess Ambrose was my guy, but I never liked any of them. We've talked about it on the show. I didn't like Dean Ambrose. I didn't like Dean Ambrose before he was in a fucking gas mask doing that goofy shit. I just didn't get it.
You mean the thing that broke his spirit?
Right. But even before that, I did not get Dean Ambrose in the Shield. I didn't see it. I didn't get it. And, I could not love Moxley more.
Yeah.
And it's been a complete turnaround. And I think he would admit that too, right? I think they talked about it on the Final Wrestling Place Dean Ambrose was 40% Moxley or whatever it is.
Yeah, and they're spot on with that. And I was texting them about this, and I said to them, that's such a fucking good, because even if you look, because listen, I've been a big Mox fan for a long time, or even when he was on the Indies.
Yeah.
When he first went to FCW, his shit there was so fucking good.
Yeah.
His feud with Regal was awesome.
Well, I didn't watch that until later. We watched it for the show, and it was very good.
But the promos, it was oh man, here he fucking is, his next big guy.
I'm an FBI agent, baby.
That's one of my favorite videos.
Yeah.
Spiritual side of it. And the dude was so fucking money. Yeah. And this again, dude, Shield was awesome.
Yeah.
I
love the idea. I love the idea of the Shield.
I kind of like what you said.
Yeah.
None of them really stood out, but as a collective unit, it's all.
Yeah, I think they said on the Final Wrestling Place too. I love the idea of it, but single guys, I didn't connect.
Yeah, and and I've said it before. I was always waiting for that Ambrose to break out to Moxley, and it just never happened.
Never happened. Yeah.
And then he leaves, and it's just holy shit, he's back. And it was so crazy.
Yeah.
If you go back and you watch that first Double or Nothing where he shows up through the crowd and that crowd goes ballistic and he sticks Jericho and then he beats the shit out of Omega. And JR actually has a great call on that. That was the guy,
Yeah.
And I remember the promo he cuts backstage afterwards. It's so fucking good. And everything he's done since has just been there's nothing, I've never been disappointed. I often say this man has killed and eaten whatever was left of Dean Ambrose.
For sure.
And he's just the fucking best. And he gives Shooter so much here.
Yeah.
Again, he wants to make his guy look good.
Yeah.
This was the graduation for Shooter.
For sure. Yeah.
Mox retains some fucking lame ass House of Torture shit happens afterwards.
Who cares?
I'm not going to watch Mox versus Evil. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
You can't fucking pay me.
No.
But yeah, man, Mox is the fucking man. Shooter's the man. I really hope, Shooter's the guy.
Yeah. Mox has disappointed me one time. And he continues to.
What?
When he first came over to New Japan, he was wearing those shorties.
Oh, yeah.
And he's now dressing like Jon Moxley dresses everywhere. And I wish that he had kept the New Japan shorties look for him.
How cool that was.
He looked so good. He got in such great shape. And I know he's been back and forth with, he's in phenomenal shape, obviously. But when he debuted in those shorties, he was cut. But I love shorties in Japan, Moxley. And I wish those studs, the only thing he's done wrong, is I wish he had that look to differentiate his, and it's obviously a humorous little nitpick, but I really liked New Japan Shorty's mocks. But whatever, it's fine.
That was a great look.
It was a great look, though. Yeah. It was just really cool to see him like present himself a little different in a different company that's a little bit of a different style.
I love John Mox.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yes.
I love John Mox.
But then I love this match. Watch this match. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
I watched one other match.
You did?
From All Japan.
Yes, I'm done. I'm not going to talk anymore for this episode.
This is the Champions Carnival final. Kento Miyahara versus Jun Saito. I try to watch a big Kento Miyahara match in All Japan because they deliver. Mm-hmm. This was in front of a pretty big crowd too, and it made me very happy seeing like a big crowd for All Japan. I'm going, all right, here we are. Jun Saito, he's like a guy I've seen around. He's mainly like a tag team guy with his brother. He comes out to Dream Warriors. Which instantly I was like, this guy.
Nice. Oh yeah, I've seen the tag team.
It's like, great. Yeah, I'm into it already. So it's a little like, the match starts, it's a little like almost fuck aroundy, like just a little brawling on the outside. Saito's messing with some fans, grabbing towels and all this shit. Once it goes back into the ring though, man, it just turns into a fight. Kento Miyahara, I don't know, dude. He's just like the ace of All Japan and has been for a long time now.
Yeah.
And his big matches always deliver. And I know some people are like, oh, Jun Saito, he's next up. And I'm like, oh, he's 37. I don't know how more next up you can be at this point.
Yeah.
He kicks out of the stalling, like, capture German suplex that Miyahara hits. They said it's only like the third or fourth time that's ever been kicked out.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But Kento Miyahara does win. I thought the match was electric. The crowd was going crazy. It felt like a big Japanese wrestling match.
Yeah.
Which I'm such a sucker for.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets me so locked in. When the dudes are just laying on the mat, exhausted, and the crowd is like rumbling and like yelling their names.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like one of my favorite things in wrestling for some reason.
Sure.
Again, All Japan's like the, God damn it, I want more. And goddamn, I want to like more.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know what's holding me back. I think it is like a familiarity thing, but I could also do my own research. It's not that hard.
Right.
I do love Rising Hayato. He's a junior champ right now. Shout out to the Ed division.
It's definitely a presentation thing because, like, given my preference, I would prefer All Japan as a lineage company. Yeah. And like, obviously, Miyahara looks like a big star when you see him.
Yeah.
But the roster's not that loaded. And when you do watch, we've watched a little, so to take my opinion with, that grain of salt, but like, they don't have a lot of people on the roster who stand out. When you look at New Japan, even though their roster is kind of down, Despy, Teton.
Sure.
Like there's people at almost every level that do sort of stand out and are entertaining to watch. And it could be just lack of watching, but when you don't, word of mouth isn't great on All Japan.
No.
So a lot of people that, aren't like saying, oh, you got to watch this mid-card match or watch this opener or whatever. Whenever you hear about All Japan, it's watch this Miyahara match and that's it. And one guy a company doth not make. So like, it's tough, and you see, Nakajima went there and that didn't go great. And, you see like Tsuji Ishikawa, who was, he's left, they're freelancer or whatever.
Yeah.
Suwama's great, but he's old. Him and Ishikawa are a tag team, which is crazy. But I don't know presentation-wise that they have more marketable stars. They're trying. But I just don't know that they do, right? I think it's tough. I think it's tough for all the companies right now.
Sure.
Noah suffers from that very similar thing.
A lot of that.
I think Noah has a couple more marketable sort of universal stars than All Japan, but like, they don't have an accessible streaming service, right? They don't.
All Japan. They do. You got to work for it.
Right. You got to work for it. They don't, it's not accessible in the U.S. at least. They don't have an English commentary, which I don't need, but it is helpful to broaden your
of course.
Get more eyes on your product.
If that's your goal.
Right. And maybe that's not their goal. But yeah, they don't, you're not seeing it be a place where international stars want to go. You know, not you can argue how big they are or not.
Oh, yeah, Regal's kid was there,
right? But like Noah, you have at least you had Ninja Mac, and you know, like, and you can argue how big of a star he is.
In Hawaii,
but at least they are recognizable people to a certain group of wrestling fan. You know, same thing. You know, like I mean, Jake Lee left All Japan to go to Noah. You know, so it is a little bit like, well, what's the draw here? Is it just Miyahara? Because Miyahara is very good, but I can also find you a couple other Miyaharas around Japan. So not that he's not talented.
I liked when they did the All In show last year, and it was Miyahara, Keno, and Okada on one team, and Miyahara was getting loud cheers. I go, so like to Japan, he's a star,
right?
And I go, okay. And this is what their aim is.
Right.
And sometimes I think like American Puro fans or whatever get lost a little bit. And it's like, well, this is for me.
Yeah.
Not really. Like, sure they want to bring you in, of course. But like, you have to please your home fans.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the way I look at it. And I know like we talk about like certain New Japan stables where it's like, okay, LIJ is kind of tired. But this is the biggest stable in Japan,
right?
Making money, moving merch.
Yep.
So why not?
Absolutely.
You know? But yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of this. I thought it was a fun watch to kind of step outside and go back to All Japan again, and you know, watch good wrestling, which ultimately is my goal.
Sure.
So before we get into the last question of the week, what were your favorite matches?
In Japan, hands down, it was Ichigawa versus Higuchi. No questions. Don't even bother. Everything else, does New Japan strong? Cal, yes, we do, right? All right, then I can't. You got to get dethroned for Mox Shooter. I love that match. So that's what that is. And in the rest of it, oh man,
rest of it.
It's tough, man. Like, because like AEW, like the shows were fine to good, but like, I guess my favorite match was Cool Kyle versus Edge. Not that the wrestling was bad, but there was not a ton of standout crazy. It was TV wrestling, and AEW always, for whatever reason, goes a little bit down before they come up for a pay-per-view. So
it's true. Edge Kyle O'Reilly is also my favorite from the States, even though it was in Canada.
North America counts.
And I'm gonna go Kento Miyahara, Jun Saito.
Nice. All right.
It was just different, and again gave me that big Japan, like not big Japan obviously, but that main event style and the feeling, and it's just like
I like it.
I fucking loved it. So
it warms my heart to know that there was a really great All Japan match.
So we do have a question here from the Taylor Made Man.
And now the Tim Taylor question of the week.
All right. So he says, hey, boys. Hope you all had a great week.
Yep.
Easy gimme question.
Okay.
What songs do you all think would make perfect entrance themes? And if you have a theme/wrestler combo in mind, let's hear it.
Okay.
So mine's maybe just going to be on the hardcore side of things because I feel like hardcore music and heavy music makes good entrance themes. Somebody needs to use Ringworm Bertha's Pain.
Okay.
Because it has a sick intro. It's fucking so dope. I know, like, typical answer, it's almost like Hatebreed, but that also is like Jamie Johnson writes UFC fight fucking walkout anthem, so whatever at this point. Yeah. Heavy stuff. Just mainly heavy stuff. I don't know.
This would be kind of silly, but I love the riff so much, and it would never happen because this particular person would never license it to be used in any capacity. But Waiting Room by Fugazi would be a really cool entrance because of the riff in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I think you want that like cool riff.
Sure.
Although the lyrics don't lend itself to wrestling or like fighting in any way. But just that cool bass riff in the beginning would be a really cool intro for somebody that's long enough for like, I'm trying to think what starts slow and like within like 20 seconds punches you in the face.
this is not an answer to that. Kendrick Lamar's Be Humble, I think would be a cool one.
Interesting.
Has a cool groove to it.
Yeah.
And I just like it a lot.
It's funny when I'm listening to music, I'm like, oh, this would be cool entrance music, but now
I know,
can't
then
really
you get put on the spot.
I can't think of shit.
Maybe something heavier from like Knocked Loose.
Yeah.
Because
I listened to their new record this week.
Oh my God.
It's good.
It's so fucking good. They're taking over the world.
Good.
They played in front of like 6,500 people in LA the other night.
Nice. Good.
They sold out their headline show.
Good.
I was like, hey, remember when they played the other side?
Right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How insane that band.
Nuts.
Yeah. You know, like, I don't know, something like, has anybody ever used like other than like a backyarder, like Slipknot for like Slipknot Sick would be really good. Just because it's just like, like, it gets the blood flowing. Yeah, I don't. It's so tough now.
It's tough.
It's tough when you put on the spot.
It's tough when you put on the spot.
I'm like
for sure.
racking my brain of like,
Right.
oh, what have I been listening to lately?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what would if theoretically Big Jack Uzi was coming out to something? What would he come out to? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Cruel Summer by Banana Rama.
Oh, dude, what a great fucking thing that. Yeah, what a good.
Are you like?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bouncing a soccer ball on my knees.
You get the fucking party started.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. That's a good one. That's a good one for sure.
You know, like, it's funny because Josh Barnett uses it, but like Fourth Crusade by Bolt.
Oh, yeah, that's fucking insane. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody's already using that, but for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Territory by Sepultura. Oof. Andy Williams was using that when the Butcher was using that when he was on doing indie stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So theme wrestler combo in mind though.
I
don't know because like
it's tough.
I don't know. You could use something like I love like Malachi Black's his like solo entrance music.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget the band name. It's like a black metal band, but it just fucking fit.
Yeah.
Even when he was in NXT and he came out to that Incendiary song, it's like, this is fucking perfect.
Yeah, whatever Buddy Murphy comes out to now solo is real good.
Tongues,
Twitching
Eyes
Tongues.
Adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have all the cool shit.
Yep.
Like it speaks to me, you know. It's like
right.
Like as a group that come out to Dead Body,
right?
Like it's Twitching Tongues that come out to. It fucking works for me.
When I used to do fantasy wrestling, like the message board where you'd write the promos and stuff, whatever the hell they called that. I can't think of the right term for it now, but whatever. My character came out to Damage Case by Motorhead, and he was just Taz in a mask.
I mean, I love that.
So,
give me Spider Muda coming out to Existence's Punishment by Crowbar.
I was going to say, what Crowbar song? That's a great one.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. That would be sick.
All right. I'm fine with that for sure.
Like, so I could see Spider Muda just like work into the ring to that. Oh, God, now I need to make it happen.
What? Oh.
That's my answer.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what if there'd be a good typo song for somebody to come out to.
All of them,
right? Yeah.
Pick something up, Bloody Kisses.
Right. What? I don't want to be me. What if like? It would be cool to come out to. I don't want to be me, because it's got a cool riff in it. And it's got the countdown. And it goes,
Oh, such a perfect song.
Let me give that to Higuchi. I'm going to give that to Higuchi to come out to. Although the spoiler alert for you, but for people who've already listened to this, you've heard this hours ago. Yeah. But it's Higuchi's theme today. So
I kind of figured it was going to be.
But
yeah, Blackened by Metallica would be a good one.
Metallica has so many cool ones.
Yeah, Blackened would be sick.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
We answered. There you go, Tim, the tailor-made man.
Tim, I want you to start listening to more Spooky Boy music.
Yeah.
Any song we just mentioned, go listen to.
Just go listen to Crowbar, Tim. Tim, your assignment is listen to Crowbar.
Yeah, listen, tune low, play slow.
Listen to Crowbar and tell me what you think. What album? Go listen to Oddfellows Rest. Or self-titled.
So I'm a self-titled guy, but there's not a bad.
There's not a bad answer, but
like Sonic Axis in his purest form is great.
Right.
Sound of Broken is that Sound of Broken Glass?
Is that on is that on Oddfellows though?
No, Oddfellows has
Worlds Collide or Planets Collide.
Planets Collide, yeah. I was literally just listening to Crowbar.
All right. Well, Tim, go listen to Crowbar and then go listen to Bolt Thrower.
Yes. I'll never get over when Joe said his favorite Bolt Thrower song. That blew my fucking mind. Yeah. Go listen to Oddfellows Rest.
Yeah.
Go listen to
Self-Titled too.
Yeah. Go listen to Carry the Load. That's the song off Oddfellows Rest.
Yeah.
Makes me want to fucking drive a screwdriver into somebody's head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What a fucking band. All right. What else we got? Let's get out of here. What are we doing?
Did you buy anything?
Oh, shit. Did I buy anything other than a bunch of comics this week?
Same. I just bought a bunch of comics this week.
No.
It somehow went back up for pre-order on Amazon, and I snagged it when I did. I got that Marvel Legends cable.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I saw it went back up. I was like,
oh, that's
yep.
Cool. Nice.
But wrestling stuff, I didn't buy anything.
No, I don't think I bought anything.
No. I'll wait. I'm just waiting right now.
Yeah.
It's not my priority right now. Yeah. If I come across like the Ichiban Hogan, I'll buy that.
Oh, really? I didn't know you wanted that. I was in my hands at Target the other day. I didn't think you wanted it. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the only one on the racks when we were in Target, but I was like, I don't think anybody wants this. I'm sorry, dude.
It's all right.
I should have sent it anyway.
It's
but
New Japan Hogan.
Yeah. It was Silver Boots. Is that the regular
That's
one?
All right. I would that and the Sultan.
Yeah. I want that pink Ray Ray.
And maybe Captain Lobano. And that series, I want the fake Diesel.
Yeah, I want the pink Ray Ray.
Yeah, you're out more than I am, so if you come across anything, or Adam, if you're
I'm sorry, I feel bad I didn't send you that.
It's okay.
That Ichiban, but I was like, I don't think anybody really wants this.
Yeah,
so
that would have been mine.
It was the only one. It was the literal only thing on the racks at our Target.
They'll get it back.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah. So I don't have anything else.
But it's funny when I was with Michelle and she goes, "He never fucking looked like that." And I was like, "He did like once."
Sure did
once.
One time.
But yeah, that's it, right? We're good.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
That's it.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We had a lot of talking to do this week, apparently. Yeah. But you can find us online at We Need Wrestling on social media. You can email the show, weneedwrestling@gmail.com. That's right. WeNeedWrestling.com. You can find the show. We're part of the Soon to Be Named Network at STBN Network on social media. Soon to Be Named Network.tumblr.com for all the shows. This show, our other show, Wings on Wings, the aforementioned Final Wrestling Place. At Odds with Wrestling, we already said that. Longbox Heroes After Dark.
Yeah.
Profane Argument. What the hell else is even out there right now? I think that's about it, right? These days.
Yeah. That's all I really listen to.
But go check everything out.
The network related, I should say.
Listen to Kevin Ford.
Oh yeah.
He
was on like a movie.
Yeah, I listened to it today. It was good. Let's see. The friend of the show, Kevin Ford. Kevin, are you going to DC? The DC New Japan show? We didn't talk. I'll shoot you a message.
Yeah.
But listen to Never Did It. It's a film podcast
their Twitter handle
that Kevin Ford joined. It's not in the
tweet.
It's not in the thing.
Oh, all right.
But go to Kevin Ford at K413 if you want to check him out and see. It's a podcast where two friends take movies they haven't watched year by year and watch them both and cover them both. It's under an hour. This was 1998. It was The Slums of Beverly Hills and A Simple Plan.
Never saw you.
And then they also talked to Kevin Smith and their top 10 films of 1998. So.
All right, I'll have to go listen.
It was a good little quick listen. Kevin's a good dude, one of the goodest dudes.
Yeah,
so
a great dude.
So give that a listen. It's called Never Did It. If they have a Twitter, I'm sorry, but in Kevin's tweet it is not tagged.
That's all right.
But you can go to Garoongate, Brad Garoon. I hope you all heard that. That was
sneezing.
My dog sneezing. So that was cool. But other than that, that's it.
Real quick, June 14th, LVAC returns to Sokol's. Tickets are on sale now.
Is that like the day after the Allentown? When's the Allentown AEW show?
No, that's not till August, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So
rad. All right. That's it.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerds.